How is everyone doing? Another week, Stats Over Politics. As always, I'm Shaun alongside my guys, Jaevon, Toddy, Kevin Dang, Garry Singh. I'm going to unmute everyone's mic so then everyone can talk to me and I'm not just by myself. Welcome to episode number 41 of Stats Over Politics. As always, I'm Shaun and gentlemen, we have another special guest joining us this week. Kevin, he's not here yet. He will be here very soon, but could you just give us a little tease as to who our guest is? I mean, everyone who might have read the description probably already read it, but just in case if you're just tapping in right now, Toddy just fell out. Toddy got so excited about our guest that he just fell out. I guess that's one Toddy freeze out for the episode. But yeah, Kevin, tell us who we got coming on.
It's been a minute.
We have Sacramento legend Ikenna Iroegbu. I've been a day one follower of his. He was class of 2013. So when I really started taking this hoop shit serious, he was on the scene, man, and he was doing it big. You know, everyone dreams of doing the things that he's done, and you know, he's hit a lot of obstacles in his course, but he's still always putting on for the city and doing things that we can only dream of. You know, things we see in TV, on movies. He's living that life. So I'm excited for you guys to get in here and see this great interview, and he's going to sit down and talk some sports with us and go back and forth. So I'm excited to hear his thoughts on some of this stuff. And he's a fellow Kings fan, so Toddy's outnumbered once again. So it's going to be good to, we bring in the football heads to talk, but now we can bring in a basketball head to talk. So it's going to be interesting, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it as well. Jaevon, what are you most looking forward to about this week's episode?
There's a bunch of stuff I'm kind of interested in too, because, there's a whole, I feel like it's like kind of a community with Sac Hoopers. I guess I fall into that category of just, the community.
Definitely do.
Of Sac Hoopers. So, just being around it, playing the AAU, playing, summer ball, him ultimately, being able to go and play professional and overseas is a different level. So, just really excited to kind of get his insight on certain things that I would like to know, because I kind of like, me and Kev kind of like grew up in it and kind of just watched a whole bunch of stuff, going on across the country. And he was one of those guys coming up like, wow, you got a Yair's finest mixtape. So that was a huge deal for a lot of hoopers. You got any type of mixtape growing up, you were clouded. So,
and I don't know, Shaun, I don't know if you're really into the mixtape culture. You know what Yair's finest is?
Yeah.
No, and
I know
Garry, there's a reason why he asked me. To be honest, no, not really.
You know what Ball is Life is?
Yes, I know what Ball is Life.
Yair's finest was Ball is Life before Ball is Life.
Yeah.
Technically,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Were they at the same time?
They were like
same time. I feel like.
They were around the same time.
I feel like Ye was more Bay Area. I thought it was more Sac, more Bay Area.
Ye was definitely more local.
Yeah.
So.
That's good to know.
Ball's Life's damn near national, damn near.
I mean, could you imagine if Yair's finest kept going? That thing would have been.
No, it was going up and up. For sure.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon in a white tee, dunking on
what happened to it then? I mean, my ears just started ringing. A business venture that's out there that's unseized.
So Travis, I only know this because my cousin Kai had a Yair's finest tape. So he had a baby, so he just got caught in the dad life. Hopefully we don't lose Toddy, man. But being a dad is a lot of responsibility, man. I'm a dog dad and a cat dad, so I know the responsibilities. But I'm still here. There's a whole nother level. So
levels to this shit, young boy.
Definitely levels to this shit. How we doing today, fellas?
Guy Toddy. I'm doing great, Kevin.
Ready to go. Episode what? 41.
41, bro. What?
Episode 41. And this is the fun part about like this new, I wouldn't say generation, but just kind of post-COVID life. Like none of us have gotten together in person to record a podcast. And that's the crazy thing about it. Like as we accidentally talk over each other, it's because like there's that little bit of a delay. And to already be 41 episodes in and like over 5 years ago, I didn't think that something like this was possible. So it's pretty awesome that we've been able to do this, and we got a lot of things to celebrate. We'll be patient about celebrating because of Garry, but we got a lot to celebrate. 41 episodes.
Don't make it because of
2,000 likes on TikTok. Ooh,
Garry, I blame everything on you.
Clearly,
right? But we've had a lot of great guests so far, from Sac State's finest and Manny Anderson. Then we had Kenny Caraway, Adilo, and KC on recently. Then we had our guy Michael Walker, the Atlanta Falcons, on most recently. And now joining us, our guest for today, none other than Mr. Ike, who Kevin talked about earlier. Ike, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
The myth, the legend.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
Doing
Chilling,
man.
brother.
Thank you for joining us once again.
Got you, bro. It's good. Appreciate y'all having me.
Of course, we appreciate you, and we got a lot of hard hitting questions for you today, Ike, and
Sounds
a lot
good.
of Big J journalists in here. But the first question that I got for you is, could you just tell us what your first and last name is, because I don't want to butcher the pronunciation.
Nah, I could tell. You didn't want to say it.
I didn't give it a shot.
He already told us he was about to dodge it out. He was about to dodge that one.
I appreciate it. So there's a few different ways you can say my name, right? So my first name, the Nigerian way to say, the original way how to say it, Ikenna Iroegbu. And then like growing up in the burbs, like you don't really want anybody like really saying your name like that, you know what I'm saying? So I changed it to Ikenna, and then like 3rd, 4th grade, it just became Ike, and that pretty much sticks. So yeah, but y'all can just call me Ike, but Ikenna Iroegbu for sure. That's how you say it. Yeah.
You just refer to him as Sacramento legend.
That's what the people say. I just be chilling.
Well, I will say, before you joined us, Kevin did say your first and last name, and he was more bold than me. But thank you for letting us know how to say it in both ways as well, and thank you for joining us. So, Kevin, you got the first question for Ike today as we interview him.
Yes, definitely. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over this intro again. We have professional hooper Ike with us, big bro from day one.
Sutter Miner, by the way.
Sutter Miner. I'll say I think we have some San Brandon guys in here, so I didn't want to throw the Sutter out there. I think we have some San Brandon in here. You know, I'm Elk Grove Unified.
He's Elk Grove. Best 2 years of my life when I went to Sutter, man. I love that school.
Todd, you went to San Brandon, yeah?
No, I went to Sutter, man. Come on, man.
My dad went to San Brandon like way back when.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
City champs.
Yeah, man. I went to Joseph Kerr Middle School. You feel me? I didn't want that Sac Unified smoke. But like I was saying, local legend. Started in Franklin High School, ventured off into Oak Hill, and then going to Washington State. So we have a lot to get into today, fellas. So just starting off, like, what was the reasoning for you going to Franklin High as a freshman?
Only reason I went to Franklin was closest to my parents' crib, where we lived at in Elk Grove. But so people know I went to Sutter. I was never supposed to go to Sutter in the first place. I was supposed to go to Toby Johnson, because the way schools are in like the Elk Grove district is your middle school and high school are like legit right next to each other. And my zoning area, I was supposed to go to Toby, but Sutter was just so known for being good at basketball.
We used to beat the shit out of Toby.
And I showed a lot. I showed a lot of promise back then. So like people were like, oh nah, like, and my cousin Chris Carvin, he went to Sutter, and his dad was like, nah, we need to get Ike there. So then so I went to Sutter, and they had me on the 8th grade team as a 7th grader, and then it kind of just worked out. And then when it came for me to go to high school, my older brother Chooks, he was at Franklin. So, and I was originally supposed to be at Franklin anyway, or Toby anyway, in that area. So I was like, all right, let me just go play with my older brother and stuff like that. So that's how I ended up at Franklin.
So going into Franklin, you were ranked on the top 25. So being a kid from Sacramento, we really don't see that a lot.
Crazy.
So what was your mentality going into as your freshman being ranked nationally?
Man, I didn't even I'll be honest, I had no clue. I knew I wanted to be ranked, but I didn't know anything about like college basketball and stuff like that back then. Like, I just knew I wanted to be the best in my city, and then not best. I want to be the best in my house, then go be the best in my neighborhood, and then from neighborhood best in the city, and then all that. So like when they rated me that high and stuff like that, it was cool. But I felt like I still had to get better and stuff like that. But it was definitely definitely crazy, because so many people knew about it when it happened, and it was like I didn't know that many people were tuned into it, you know. But it was a cool experience.
He said, about time y'all woke up.
Man, I've been doing this for a minute. I'm happy everyone's starting to notice.
But,
so along with your freshman year, you were invited to try out for the USA U15.
Yeah.
How was that experience? And, were there any other guys that you saw along your class that you saw there at that moment? And kind of how was that experience seeing the national talent?
that experience was crazy. I haven't thought about that in a while. That experience was crazy because it was me, Steven Domingo, and AG Aaron Gordon. It was us three.
NBA champion.
It was crazy because we were from like the same little area and stuff like that. Me and AG knew each other from playing on the Soldiers and stuff. So when we went to Colorado, it was a dope experience. The thing though with that was, man, like the elevation. I had this time I'm like 15, 16. I'm just playing in California, right? And everything I'm playing in Sac, I'm playing in the Bay, I'm playing in LA. Stuff is like normal.
It's more regional.
When I got to Colorado, like I couldn't breathe. When I went up and down the court like once or twice, and I couldn't breathe. I was like, how is this even possible? Yeah. But it got better as the camp went along and stuff like that. But I remember thinking that as like, I don't know how people play up there. It's like it's different. So when I see teams like the Denver Nuggets, like running around and stuff, crazy. That's a crazy stat. That's
the numbers guy.
Yeah, playing in Colorado was different. It was a great experience though, because it prepared me for college. Because me going to Washington State, we would play Utah and Colorado, so I already knew going in what I was getting into.
Ike, you kind of mentioned already that you played for the Oakland Soldiers. Just tell us about how legendary those teams were, and kind of the tournaments that you went to, and a little bit who was on that team and who you were kind of going up against.
So man, the Oakland Soldiers. So I was on the legendary team was the 17s, and I was on the 15s, right? Yeah. For most of that summer, and my older brother Chooks was on that team too. Yeah. So it was like the closest thing to seeing like real life rock stars, like, and the thing that was real talk, and the thing that was crazy was like I was like right there, like I had a VIP pass to see it, Right. So like they had Josiah Turner, who was like anyone that knows Josiah was the one, bro, like
Sakai,
like oh my legend. Josiah, a legend for sure. So they had Josiah Turner. And had Kiwi Garner. This is Kiwi at the height. Like, YAF, he crossing over, throwing off people's heads, like all types of crazy stuff. So they had Kiwi. And then they had Jabari Brown. Like, and Bari was seeing Bari play for the first time, like, I remember watching him hoop and he was killing. I was like, why does he look so angry? Like, because anyone that knows Jabari Brown know he don't like his facial expression. Like, it don't change.
It doesn't change.
He always look mad, but he was the first like killer I really seen. He was just so he could just he knew how to shoot. And I'm like, wow, how these guys know how to shoot like this? Like Jabari Brown was tough. So right there, and they had Josiah Kiwi, Jabari Brown. Then they had Nick Johnson. Then they had Kyle Wiltshire. Then they had my older brother Chooks, of course. Then they had Brandon Ashley.
BA was on that team.
Yeah, BA. And then they had DA, too. Dominic Artis was on the team, too. I feel like they had my boy Junior Longers, who ended up going to Washington State. Okay. And then I think that's it. But so that was that team. And then we had the 15 and on the team, who was me, Aaron Gordon, Langston Morris Walker, and Jabari Bird. And like it was so crazy because seeing how they were treated and how they were killing, and like they were kind of grooming us to be like the next one of those next up. Yeah. It was just so crazy. Like we pulled up to Vegas. We got like John Wall came to the game. All these Ron pulled up to the 17 on the game one time in Vegas.
That's crazy. That must have been lit.
Yeah. It was so crazy because like it was in Bishop Gorman, right? And those schools they were turning like a big court into two courts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the 17 they were playing on the side with a lot of bleachers and stuff. In the other court, they just had like barely any seats. Everyone from that was in the gym, like it was so packed on one side of the gym that they had to use the other side, and they weren't even worrying about the other game. Everyone was just locked into. Yeah, 17 on the Soldiers team was playing, and it was like these dudes are really like real life rock stars. Like we walking into the gyms, they're like it's like the Red Sea parting ways. Like here come the Soldiers, and so like that swag was on 1,000. It was so crazy.
So I know I'm not sure if you played on the same team with Trev and Stanley, or were they a little bit after you?
No, yeah, they was after me. I was playing on Belmont Shore after that. Yeah, they was after me.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I went to that I went to Washington State with Trev though. I was a sophomore. He was a freshman.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's my boy.
So before you were getting on, like we were going back and forth, you know, I had to educate Shaun, our host, because he wasn't too aware of Ye Area's Finest. So can you go ahead and just speak on what Ye Area's Finest meant to hoopers and what it meant to get your own tape, and just what your life looked like after you had your not first but second Ye Area's Finest highlight?
Yeah. These are great questions.
Shout out to
Big J
Kev.
journalist.
My boy, shout out to my boy Travis Ferris, the CEO, originator, and founder of YAF Ye Area's Finest.
Oh man.
And Trav made he turned a lot of kids into rock stars, bro. Like it was like your life definitely changed after
people was getting signed off of those these tapes.
Nah, for you was getting schollies. You was getting schollies off having mixtapes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my life for sure changed after I got my first one.
That's the first IG before IG, I bet.
Yeah, and the thing is, you see what highlight culture is now with Ball's Life and Hoop Mixtape, not as much, but really Ball's Life really took it and ran with it, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Trav was right there with him. It was a time for real where it was real life, Wire Year's Finest, Hoop Mixtape, Ball's Life. You know what I'm saying? Now Ball's Life, they just push so much content out, they gotta be number one, you know.
Yeah.
But nah, Trav. And the thing is, nowadays, you see all these little kids getting mixtapes, fourth graders.
It's weird now.
It's
With a camera getting
Everyone got a mixtape now. It's not even special.
Bro, I was on a rabbit hole maybe last month. I saw some dad reposted his kids' highlights. I go on the dad's page, and he was like, "Yeah, man, my son just turned 10, 1,000 career points."
What?
Like, 1,000 career points?
Wait,
where
are you hooping at?
What is that? So then it's just, but back then, today, anyone can get a mixtape. Back then, it's
it's a rite of passage.
You have to be that guy. You really have to be him to get a mixtape. And when I got my first one, bro, my phone was ringing off the hook. I probably watched it 200 times in the span 48 hours, bro.
Yeah. I'm locked into this for sure.
Yeah, bro. When you get a new mixtape, it's crazy. It's crazy. For sure.
I apologize. I apologize, Ike, for not being educated about it. But,
it's cool. It's cool.
At least Ball is Life, though. When he asked me about Ye Area's Finest first, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, I haven't heard of it. But then he's like, Ball's okay, I've heard of that for sure. And
Trav was leading the pack for sure, bro. Actually, because Ball's Life, they have a I really haven't told anyone this. Oh, can y'all hear me? Okay. So
no, that was my bad.
No, you good. So Ball's Life has a all-star game for high schoolers.
Yeah.
And YAF, they used to have one. It was
that's right. It was in the Bay, right?
Yeah, it was in the Bay. So I graduated high school 2013. They had one in 2012. It was crazy.
You were there?
I was like, bro, I'm going. So then, but it was the same weekend as Ball's Life. So Ball's Life hit me and was like, yo, we want you to be in the All-Star game. Let us know the flight details and we'll fly you out. I was like, all right, cool. Then Trav hit me for YF. Was like, Ike, we're gonna do this All-Star game in 2 weeks. Can you make it back to the set? Because I was like, Oak Hill at the time. I'm like, I'm gonna come back to the crib and play in front of my family and stuff. I'm going YF. But then Trav canceled it, and that's when he started pulling back from YAF and stuff like that. And then I tried to double back and go back to Balls. I was like, hey, I'm not going. They said it's bad. I was sick, but nah, yeah. Trav and YF, that really means something for sure.
Now you made the right decision right there, though.
Yeah,
you had to go back. You had to go back for the city for sure.
Yeah, facts.
And I just wanted to follow up on that, just in regard to the mixtape culture and everything, because I was first really exposed to mixtapes with Zion and a lot of the big names, right?
Yeah,
but now,
late.
Bro, hella late. When I say I needed to be educated, I needed to be educated. That's why I apologize. But yeah, so that was when I really got put onto it. But like you guys have all been saying, now any day, any kid can get a mixtape because they can. Nice. Number one, they're talented enough. There's YouTube tutorials out there to be able to teach themselves to make it. But there's also plenty of scouts out there now looking for this young talent. Nice. And so we've seen a lot of young guys who are teenagers, and they've gotten these social media followings of over like 100,000 people. The one that comes to mind for me is like a guy like Mikey Williams. What do you think of just about that kind of culture and how like mixtapes has really like put a spotlight on these young kids?
It's cool.
What are the
to
positive
see.
negatives, really, to be honest?
I'll give you positive negative. It's cool to see because it's cool to see, especially the guys behind the camera and the kids like pushing the envelope. You know, it's dope to see that like the culture didn't just stop with my class or class after me. That it continues to be pushed. The thing about it that's crazy is just like it's kind of like uncharted territories right now, especially with like these NIL deals and these brands can reach out to these kids and stuff like that. And it's like you want, like I understand it, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of bad because sometimes the game of basketball doesn't really get played how it should. You know, it's a real like kids just want to go out here just make highlights. Instead of swinging the ball to the second side,
a set of flare
stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
just little...
the kids are more. They're just more focused for the crossovers, for the lob passes, and like I understand it. Like basketball's supposed to be a fun game, but at the same time, you really want to make sure that the fundamentals and the integrity for the game.
That's why
there. You know what I'm saying? Like so that's one thing. But it's dope to see like. Because my older brother, honestly, like he was at San Francisco City, and he didn't have like amazing people at his games like to record and put a highlight clip together. So he made his own highlights. And then he ended up doing that and getting a scholarship to Northern Illinois to finish out his collegiate career. So like I get it, man. Like sometimes you need that tape because that's all you got to show for yourself. So. I understand it, but it's just like with anything, it's pros and cons. It's just now with these NIL deals, it can kind of get scary, and you can kind of see it from like the NBA too, like the highlight culture where you have certain teams that like these guys don't know how to play basketball. They just they don't know how to play basketball. They know how to make a highlight. They know how to do some trick dunks and some nice crossovers. Probably got good form on their shot. But when it comes to like the nuance of the game, bro, we gotta move the ball side to side real quick so we can throw the defense off, stuff like that. Like you don't really see that too much.
What type of
glad you mentioned that. Go ahead, Gary.
Now I was gonna say, like, going on that real quick, Ike, like, what advice would you give to like some youngins that you see come up that are kind of maybe feeding into that, but like just make sure, what would you tell them to like maybe keep the basketball IQ and level headed? Because like you said, like these kids can blow up instantly. It's like who's gonna tell you to, like you said, swing the ball to the other side when to make it to the league and get a niche, you might need to do that. But like to them in their eyes, the youngins, they're not seeing that point of view just because like the likes is going up when I get this bucket. So how can you, because the real kids that really making the NBA, you could tell they find the niche and they understand both lanes. So what advice would you kind of give these youngins?
I really wouldn't even talk to the youngins. It's talking to the coaches and the trainers, because that's what they're going to. That's who they're going to listen to. Yeah. All the trainers that they got, all the people on YouTube doing all these little YouTube, I don't know, like how to do a crossover.
Skill videos.
Yeah, the skill videos and stuff. It's like you got to talk to them on. Maybe they're teaching a crossover. Let's teach. You really want to do it in this situation. And explain why, and explain that if you swing the ball, if you have a pick and roll the first time, you don't want to go all the way deep in your bag because you don't know how they're gonna guard it. You go pick and roll one time, swing it. Second time, swing it. You see how they're guarding it, and then that third time, that's when you decide to hit your shit, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if they talk about the situations more or go in depth on why they need to do things, and sometimes, bro. Straight up, like you don't even need all the moves that these people are teaching. Like you see guys like Giddy on OKC, like Giddy not out here doing like no crossover and stuff like that. He just dribble. When the guy steps up, he passes. When that's open shot, he shoots. Like sometimes you don't need all the gimmicks and stuff like that. You just gotta keep it simple. Sometimes less is more. And I think with this culture, they doing more with less, and it's like. Bro, you don't even need all that. So I wouldn't even talk to the kids because the kids don't know what they don't know. You got to talk to the coaches and the trainers for real.
That's what they're going to listen to.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you mentioned that, just in regard to the young kids who are just trying to get that spotlight, get that scholarship, and I'm really glad that you mentioned the fundamentals too, because like I'm a fan of the WNBA, of the women's game in general,
100%.
and the thing that I notice about the women's game is because they don't have that natural athleticism, or they're not 7 foot to be able to dunk nonstop, their fundamentals are so much better and they're so much sharper because of that, and they're honing in on those skills, as you mentioned, that's kind of being missed right now. And something that we're seeing with a lot of these kids who not only want to get a scholarship for themselves, but also their parents really want it for them too, understandably, because a lot of situations, that's how a lot of people get a college education. And so the question that I wanted to ask in regard to that is, with that push to get scholarships, a lot of kids and a lot of parents are playing one sport. Just going all the way back for you, we kind of skipped over your childhood a little bit. Okay. Was basketball always it for you, or did you also play other sports?
Y'all asking some good questions, man.
I appreciate it.
We get educated by Kev, man.
Basketball was my second sport. Soccer was my
first
sport. Yeah.
Soccer.
So, wow. So with me being Nigerian, man, like
they love soccer, right?
They
it's a
love
big,
soccer.
Big thing, yeah.
Especially you go outside the U.S., people.
That's the main sport.
That's the main sport for sure. Like people in Nigeria, they're playing soccer barefoot. Rocks and dirt and stuff like that, you know. So that my mom knew, because I got an older brother, younger brother. I'm the middle. My mom knew, and we're all close in age, so my mom knew to put us in sports. Like, we're not gonna be at the house playing video games all day. Y'all got to get outside, be active, and stuff like that. So soccer was my first sport, and the thing was, my position was I was the goalie.
Oh,
so shit! This is how I really started getting to hoop, because we would have a hoop in the backyard. But all these days, me and my brothers were on 3 different teams. I'm the goalie, and the thing about it was, my team, we were nice. We were good, bro. Like, so the thing is, with being the goalie and your team's nice, you're not doing nothing. I was staying out the goal all game, like watching dudes run around and stuff like that. So I got pretty bored, and then I joined the Salvation Army down here in Oak Park with my brothers. I started loving that. It was dope. But then for my parents, we're on 6 different teams, 3 kids, 6 teams total, 2 different sports. That's a lot of different practice times, a lot of different game times, stuff like that, right? So one day we're all sitting down, and mind you, my parents, they're both the oldest child in their family, right? So my mom knows the influence that an older child can have on a younger sibling. So she brought us into the living room. She was like, all right, here. She tore up a piece of paper, gave it each of us a piece of paper and a pen, and said, all right, I want you guys to go to different corners and pick a sport, either soccer or basketball. And then we were like, all right. So we all went to different corners, and then we all chose hoop. And then I was hooping ever since.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to mom right there. She said, y'all better lock in on something right now.
Facts. So it was like, the gas prices was too crazy. We can't.
She's like, I'm not driving 2 places. Hey, she made it.
It was dope. We all chose the same sport, and it was cool because we was always working out together and shit. Yeah.
Iron sharpen irons for sure with the brothers locked in.
Gary mentioned that niche for players. So you got to see the Aaron Gordon who did it all. The white tank top and the Yair's finest intro. Toddy's been around the culture, so we got to see Aaron Gordon do everything. He was the big man, he was the point guard, he was a center. But now you see him in the NBA, and he's an NBA champion, like Toddy mentioned, and he's really known for being a defender and a back cutter and things like that. So what would you just have to say to the young guys who just want to think they have to score all the points or throw all the dimes? But in the NBA, you get a role, and if you could flourish in your role, you could flourish as a player.
Yeah, I would say to that, man, be on the court, bro. Like, just be on the court. You could have you can have the deep bag, but if you're on the bench, you know what you gonna be doing. Yeah. Do what's gonna get you on the court, and then when you get that, then you gotta keep doing that and then expand. You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes, man, if you're a scorer, sometimes you just not getting no buckets. You know, you got to be something else at the table. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to get a teammate open shot, maybe get some old boards or stuff like that. So for AG, it's like he's had to adjust his game, and sometimes that's like the hardest thing to do. But once you do it, things like getting a championship happen. So seeing that, and I really know AG for like. Yeah. We was together for like a year and a half, 2 years or something on the Soldiers and stuff like that. So I really know him, and to see his game like continue to grow and blossom, and then he just got a chip, man. It's pretty dope.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Ike left Franklin to go to the Oak Hill. So for those of you who don't know about Oak Hill and the Ladies Shooting Stars LeBron movie, that team in the red and yellow jersey is Oak Hill. So they have legends like Carmelo Anthony, Rajon Rondo, Brandon Jennings. For the old heads out here, we have Jerry Stackhouse, Josh Smith, and the list goes on and on and on. So this is a two-part question. So how did Oak Hill come apart, and then how was the culture shock coming from a West Coast kid going to Virginia?
Definitely a culture shock. So Oak Hill. So what happened with that was the summer between my freshman and sophomore year, I got invited to this Nike Top 100 freshman sophomore camp or something like that. And my coach at the camp was Steve Smith, the coach at Oak Hill Academy, right? So I did cool at the camp. Like I didn't go too crazy, but I for sure like did solid. So then after my sophomore year at Franklin, my dad was like, I think it's a time like we go to a different school because my older brother had just graduated, and Franklin, the situation there just wasn't the best. So I was like, all right, what about Oak Hill? And then my dad researched it, and then he got in contact with Coach Smith, and then I flew out to go to like pick a visit there and see the school and stuff like that. And I came back, and it was after I came back, it was like, yeah, we're gonna give like a scholar to come here, and then it was done after that. Yeah, it was when everyone found out, it was so crazy, bro. Because it was like the decision. It was like
that's huge.
Bro, from a kid from Sac, bro. Sac to make that big decision, bro. That's a really big, like, shout out to your pops, because a lot of people won't make that gamble because, sending your kid to a whole other state, a whole other area. Did he go? I don't know, my bad. I don't know. Did he go with you guys, or you just got to sit there by yourself? How did that work?
Yeah, so we went. So it's a boarding school. So, like, he went, we visited, he dropped me off with my mom and stuff. But I was there by myself. All my family was on the West Coast. And
that's crazy.
I had a
junior
few East Coast families, but like Oak Hill's in the middle of nowhere. Like people wasn't visiting me like that, so I had to really like get adjusted to the East Coast life, and it was different. Like, bro, I was 16. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to. All I know is the sun and the heat and sad.
No, straight up.
And, bro,
driving in that snow.
Coast, bro, I did not like it at first, bro. I'll tell you that it was crazy.
I got a big question for you, Ike. Like, a lot of kids, that would be hard for them. I would feel like, kids nowadays, like, it's hard to even to even make that jump because I don't know, maybe miss your family and things of that nature. And obviously, like, like how much, you really got to love hoop that much, you know what I'm saying, to really have that passion to really, want to do these type of decisions, life-changing decisions at a young age. So speak to that, what was your mindset at that young age? Speak to, like, what were you thinking and all those little factors going into those decisions.
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, for me, I just want to be the best basketball player I can be. Like, I've always felt that way. Because it wasn't even about being like the best basketball player ever. It's like I just want to maximize myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want anyone to put a cap on that. So since I've always had that feeling, I was like, man, I want to do what the other great players were doing. So I was willing to do whatever, bro. Like, it really didn't matter to me. I was traveling a lot. By that time, I was really traveling a lot already for basketball, especially in the summertime. Always going to LA, always flying to different states for tournaments. So, like, I just kept the main thing. I just wanted to hoop and against, like, some of the best players, and that's why I went there. And it was definitely a culture shock, bro, because, me being from the West Coast, like, seeing snow all the time, like, bro, I didn't even.
It ain't Tahoe.
I really didn't like that. I had to get adjusted to it. It was crazy because I ended up going to Washington State. It ended up snowing a lot out there. But like, even when I go places now, as a professional, like I just signed in Spain. And it's like, bro, I'm a 30-minute drive from Barcelona and stuff like that. Like, the sun gonna be out in Spain, So I'll be cool off snow from now on. For real.
You've always jacked to the States.
I'm ducking and dodging the snow life unless I'm going to Tahoe.
So you went to Virginia at 16 years old, and like you were saying, it was a boarding school, so you were pretty much on your own. What is there to do at 16 years old in Virginia? Like, take us through like a day to day. I know there was a lot of snow.
I'll take you through my schedule. I still remember.
Please do.
So school started at breakfast was at 7. Breakfast was at 7:30, and then we had class starting at 8:15. So I would wake up at 5:30, walk to the gym, right?
Get some shots up.
Walk to the gym, and you have to walk in the snow sometimes because it's pretty cold, bro. It's drip cloth on my big pucker on my sweat.
Yeah.
Put my sweats in my socks, all that. Like I was and then walking through the snow to the gym. The gym there was like the door was really old, so you had to like it was always locked, but you had to just shake it. Open.
I still remember this.
You gotta grab it and you just shake it, opens up, turn on the light, and I was working out for like a little over an hour. Then walk back to my dorm room, take a shower, go to breakfast, 7:30, 30-minute breakfast, 8. Class starts at 8:15. Go to class from 8 to
real regimen.
Yeah, real regimen, bro. Go to class from like 8 to 1, I think it was, 1 or 2. And then after that, we had practice. We would call the highest team was called the gold team. Yeah. So we was like gold team practice right then and there at like 2, right? So boom, we done at like 4. We have dinner at 5. We had dinner, and then after dinner, that's when it gets jumping. So we had a gold team, a red team, and a silver team. And after dinner was all the runs. So the thing was, we would always walk in the gym. It would always be like guys from the silver team and red team playing against each other and stuff like that. And then when we walk in, they start playing a little harder. Not a little, a lot harder. Because like, I'm trying to guard the dudes on goal because we're nationally ranked. We all got for sure like the minimum 8 scholarships and stuff like that to all these different schools that all these kids want to go to. And it's like, so it'd be fun, bro, because we always hooping in the morning, hooping in the afternoon, hooping at dinner, like for hours on end. And the kids there, they just like, they love hoop, bro. Like they love it. Just teachers there, they love hoop. Like there'll be times, one of us would do like a crazy dunk or something, and Steve Smith just standing there like this, like nothing happened because he had guys like Josh Smith and KD and Michael Beasley. Like he's seen. Nothing impresses him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Even the teachers. Like there was one time like I asked one of the teachers, I think her name was Miss Bottom. I'm pretty sure she's still there. I asked her, I was like, yo, what's the craziest thing you've seen here, like hoop wise? And she said the day Dean Smith came to Oak Hill. Like,
North Carolina.
She said the day Dean Smith came to Oak Hill was the craziest day she's seen. Like, so he was recruiting somebody. He came in, and all these kids, because there's only 2 hallways. You got one side that can get into the gym, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then all these kids were trying to look through this little box through the door, trying to see Dean Smith and stuff like that. And then when he left, they rushed the gym, trying to play hard as hell. So hopefully he turns around and give one of the kids a scholarship or something. That's great. But yeah, Oak Hill was a crazy experience, bro.
Who was some of the guys that you kind of went up against in high school while you were at Oak Hill, as far as whether playing against, or was there like a specific game?
I saw so many people, bro.
Any league guys?
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell, Ben Simmons, and Casey Hill. They were all on the same team.
Montverde.
Who?
Yeah.
All 3 of them? Oh man.
Yeah, all 3 of them on the same team. Casey Hill was a senior, and this one Casey Hill was like the guy.
Man.
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell was a junior, and Ben Simmons was a sophomore. But they had Ben Simmons at the 4. He dunked on 2 of my teammates at the same time. I was like, what the fuck?
That wasn't even fair.
Shit was crazy. That team was cool. Who else did I play against? And what's the dude? I think he went to like Oklahoma State. He went to like La Lumiere or something like that.
I can't think of his name.
I played so many guys. I played Ishmael Wainwright, who's on the Phoenix Suns now. I played him. Yeah. He was on the green team. I forgot what they're called.
Bunch of dudes.
So I want to follow up on a couple of those names that you mentioned because so Jaevon and we had a podcast before we leveled up and we upgraded. It was a podcast called Shaun and Vaughn, and on that podcast, Jaevon went after me. I appreciate it. Jaevon went after me because I was a Ben Simmons supporter, and after a while, I didn't look great with some of my takes that I made about Ben Simmons. and so
I did not look great.
Not at all. And so since you saw him at that level in high school, when like you were one of those guys who was like a part of that 1% in high school basketball, and he was in that as well. And so just what do you think about?
He was in a different percentage. I was in the 1%, but he was in like the
0.001. Exactly. So to that point, like, Do you think that he can still have a career in the NBA at this point, or do you think like the confidence level kind of just gets to you after a while? Because like I never played basketball in high school. Like I tried out for my JV team as a sophomore. I was the last one to get cut. So like I'm not the athlete, but I did play 4 years of golf. And like in golf, it was such a mental game where it was basically me versus myself. And when I would get in my own head and overthink it, then like I would play terrible because I would overthink it. And I kind of see the similarities in Ben Simmons. And so do you think that's something he can get himself out of?
Yeah, I definitely think he can get himself out of it. It's just shocking, you know, because for me, my whole thing about when it comes to basketball is if I do it one time, I can do it again and again. Yeah. If I do it one time in practice, I'm gonna do it again in practice, and then whatever I do in practice, I'm gonna do in the game. So, and when it comes to the game, I've never done anything in the game where I didn't practice it. You know, like every shot I shoot in the game, I've shot thousands of times. So when you see him shooting in the summers and the summer workout videos that get posted about him, it's like he be cashing. And I actually was watching one not too long ago, and like he had a hand in his face, and some of them like he's being guarded, step back to the right.
He got a good form.
Yeah, like the form. And the thing is, his form is like it's not all the way great, but it's
makeable.
Works, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely like a confidence thing because it's like if you practice it, might as well just go out there and do it in the game. That's my perspective. So
do you think it's more personal or opportunity, like what you see from afar right now? You think it's him?
It's personal. It's personal. It's like a personal confidence thing because for sure, a front office is saying, "Bro, just shoot. We don't care how many times you shoot. Just shoot."
Especially what they've been trading him for.
He still doesn't want to shoot. That's like, all right, he's got to get out of his own way for real. That's like, because a lot of guys that tell him not to shoot as much, and they're telling they need him to shoot. His career, like if he gets a jumper, like come on, bro, like
he was an all-star before, basically.
Yeah, so, like it's crazy, but yeah, he just got to get out of his own way for real.
Jaevon, did you want to follow up on that?
So we kind of went over, you know, you at Oak Hill and, you know, the competition that you went to. Let's talk about a little bit, you know, transitioning to college. What was it like when you got your first offer? Who were some of the teams that were on your radar and recruiting you? And what ultimately made you want to go to, you know, Washington State, Wazoo?
First school to offer me, not even school to offer me, my first letter from a college was Whitman College in Walla Walla, Washington. Shout out to Whitman College.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're D1, but they gave me my first letter, and I was like,
"You're like, it's real."
I got facts. I was like, "Yo, I can't believe this." I was so lit, bro. Like I didn't even know.
Were you ready to sign with them or what?
I know what I was like. What do I do with this? Awesome.
Yeah, I was hoping he said Sac State. To be honest, I was like, my first offer was Sac State.
But then my first official offer was from USC. Kevin O'Neal. That was pretty dope.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans. But I always had love for USC. And the thing is, I didn't never play football, but I watched the national championship with Reggie Bush versus Texas.
Oh yeah, that's why.
So I was ready, bro. I was ready to get the pads out. I was like, yo, I'm about to be a running back. But yeah, USC, they were my first school to offer me. And then once you get one school like that to offer you, bro, they all start coming in.
They start coming in, okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you got the pretty girl, she got her braces off, and then all the guys want her and stuff like that. It was like that, bro. Like
love the example.
As soon as USC offered, Oklahoma State offered me, Colorado offered me.
Seems like a lot of Pac-12 schools.
Yeah, a lot of Pac-12s, and it just came out of nowhere, bro. Like I was like, I know these coaches haven't seen me play not one time, but just because USC offered, they want to come in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was that. Oh, Virginia Tech was another one, and College of Charleston in South Carolina. I took an official visit there because it was right next to Oak Hill, and my high school teammate Theo Johnson was there. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go here real quick and see what they talking about. But it was my last two schools were between Virginia Tech and Washington State because Washington State was Pac-12. My older brother Chooks went there for a year and then he left because he wanted to. He was a walk-on and wanted to get a scholarship. He ended up getting it. Okay. But they were recruiting me the hardest and told me I was gonna play right away, and so I had the opportunity to play right away. And Virginia State was saying the exact same things, but I didn't want to. I want to get out the East Coast. So I was tired about being in the East Coast for real.
What happened to what happened to the USC offer? Did they kind of like pull their scholarship?
Bro, they had a coaching change. Coach from Florida Gulf Coast. I think that's where he was at before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. He left, and then after that, it was kind of curtains. Oh, Arizona offered me too. Arizona State was. I got a lot of interest from them. I don't know if they pulled the trigger. I don't remember if they pulled the trigger though. But I was interested in going to Arizona State too, but then chose Washington State. Washington State was cool. Yeah, go Cougs.
Go Cougs, awesome.
Yeah.
So how was your experience in Washington go? How did your experience in Washington go?
Washington State, it was smooth, bro. Like,
what did you learn there? How'd you grow as a player?
So, man, the thing about Wazoo when I was there, man, like there's a lot of changes. I played for actually not too many changes. I played with 2 different coaches.
What year is this?
This is my freshman year, 2013-14.
Okay.
And then we had Ken Bone. He got fired after that year. And then my sophomore and senior year, we had Kevin and we had Ernie Kent. And Coach Kent was cool. It was just like the only thing about Washington State, I just wish the skill development was better, man. Like, because there was a lot of times with me being a gym rat, I was in the gym a lot by myself.
Gotcha.
And it's like sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was putting shots, bro, like thousands of shots. But back then, I always had a hitch in my J. So, like, I'm doing thousand shots, then I'm getting better, but I still got this hitch in my J. Like, if someone would have told me back then, like, yo, you got to shoot one motion, get the hitch out, and work me out how I should have been working out, like, things could be a lot different. But even said, though, I was still shooting really good. Like, there was one time I was, like, through the midseason my junior year, I was shooting a better percentage of threes than Clay. Like, I was on pace to break his record of 3-point percentage in the season or something like that. Then
Klay Thompson, by the way, guys.
Yeah, Klay Thompson, by the way. So then, but then, like, something I fell off, like, and I just didn't shoot it as well. Ended up missing that. But little stuff like that. But overall, man, I wouldn't really trade it for. We're all met some great people over there and played against some great players and stuff like that. I wish we would have won more. But, I mean, it is what it is. I'm still doing good. So, but I play against some good players, bro. Like,
was they the Pac-12? Did they turn into the
Pac-12?
No,
they were Pac-12. They were Pac-12.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a Pac-12. Like, my freshman year, I played the best college team, like, I think anyone could play in that time, bro. It was Arizona, and it had T.J. McConnell at the 1, Nick Johnson at the 2, Aaron Gordon at the 3, Brandon Ashley at the 4, and big, what's Tarkanowski or Tarzuski, something like that, at the 5, like big, brolic, just 7-foot dude. He looked like a Ken doll, just strong as hell. You know what I'm saying? And then they had Gabe York and Rondae Howard-Jefferson coming off the bench, bro.
Hollis Jefferson off the bench was crazy,
bro. It was OD. Like it was like real life, like an NBA lineup in terms of height and athleticism, bro. They were so damn good. AG was out. He was so out of pocket, bro. Like, I remember this play. Like, I remember this play so vividly. So, AG stole it, right? Boom. He stole from somebody. I think I was just about to get subbed in. He stole from somebody, and he's going. Let me change the camera so you can see. So he's going this way, and my teammates on this way. If everyone listening who can't watch right now, they're like
audio only listening
on the wing.
Like,
hey, we appreciate you looking out for them.
I got you, bro. So, I be tagged in the podcast, bro. I know how. So they're about to meet at the basket from like half court. They're just they're gonna come together and like meet at the rim.
Oh, no.
So then so the AG's about to gather, and this shit was so crazy, bro. So I'm thinking AG's about to just pull it back behind his shoulder or something like that. AG really, he gathered, did a 180 and about to dunk it backwards on my hands. Like,
we're gonna find this clip, Shaun. We're gonna find this clip, Shaun.
I was like, bro, what? And then my man's, he ain't really try. He fouled him, but it wasn't like he tried to take him out the air. He just like kind of hit his hand and the ball went out. AG was shooting 2 free throws. I was like, AG really a sicko. Like, the reverse. Bro, who are you, bro?
On somebody
down, bro. It was crazy.
Did you not prep your team? Let him know that he's not prep your team. Let him know that he gonna jump.
Nah, bro. No, did they prep? The coach didn't need to do no prep. Everyone in the gym knew. Like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
I was like the next Blake
Like,
Griffin
everyone
basically
knew.
during that time.
Yeah. That shit was hilarious. Though. I was like, hey, G, wildin'.
So he's the best dunker you probably seen in your life. Obviously, him, maybe Zach LaVine or something like that, like in person.
I know this answer.
Levine robbed him, bro. Levine robbed him.
Thing is, I seen Zach way before.
Zach LaVine been going crazy.
Yeah,
He played at UCLA when you were at Wazoo.
Yeah, he played at UCLA when it was our freshman years. Like, I got a story about Zach too. So we were at that Nike camp I was talking to y'all about when I met Steve Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2 weeks before I go to that camp, I'm playing in Vegas. And me and this like just light skinned dude, super light skinned, Zach's super light skinned. I didn't know what Zach though. We going at it, bro. Like we going back and forth. It was a close game. Like I hit 1 3, boom. He come down, he do something, get a bucket. I come down, hit another 3, boom, and he comes down, gets another bucket. It's like plus time. Then I ended it with 3 back-to-back threes, gamed it. And then after the game, we was talking for a little bit, and then we just went our separate ways. And then 2 weeks passed, we go to this camp, and I'm like looking down, and I look up because I'm in line to get my gear, and I look up, and he's right in front of me. I was like, "Hey, bro, you from Vegas?" He's like, "Oh yeah, And we was talking and stuff. We get our gear. They give us like a backpack and some slides and stuff, right? And me and him, we're just chilling under a basket, just talking hoop. And then he just had the ball. And Zach was at this time he was probably like 6'2", 6'3", and I was maybe like 5'11", 6 foot maybe. And he just had but he's just super lanky. So we're talking right under the hoop, bro. And he just got the ball and then just in his slide, just jumped up with the backpack on and just dunked it. Now I'm like, what's happening? Like, he's like, but he didn't know why I was looking at him so I'm like, bro, that's not like normal. Because most people they need more energy, but it made it like he just made it look so effortless.
Nonchalant.
Yeah, so nonchalant, bro. Crazy. So then once he then his freshman year when he was doing all those dunks, and I don't know if y'all seen the his draft highlights, his NBA draft workout highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, when I seen like him going in between the legs, all this stuff, I was like, bro, this dude is different, bro. Yeah. But now Zach, he cool people's. So it was me, it was Zach AG, me my freshman year. I think the year after that they had Stanley Johnson.
Yep. Stanimal.
The pack had Stanley the year after that. I played against Lonzo my senior year. That was cool.
Did you go against Fox too then maybe or no?
No. Fox was in Kentucky. We didn't play them.
SEC.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's so many.
You're right.
Dudes every year, bro.
Did you play against Kuzma, or is he? Because he's a lot older.
I did play against Kuz. Yeah. I played against Kuz. Me and Kuz. I remember I had worked out for the Brooklyn Nets, and me and Kuz knew each other because we played against each other in the pack. And I was just asking. We were just talking about like a draft experience and stuff, the draft workout stuff like that. And he was like, "Man, like, yo, these workouts is easy, bro. Like, I'm cooking." And the thing is, so before I left before I graduated, my one of my assistant coaches, I don't go say who it was. One of my assistant coaches said, "Did you see Kyle Kuzma declare for the draft? I don't know what he's thinking. He got some bad advice."
He did go 27.
You know, he went 27, but everything after
and he got a bag now.
He just signed for 100.
Yeah,
he good.
He good now for sure.
Was DeJounte in college when you
were? I was about to say, you played Keystone, yeah?
There's so many people that I played against DeJounte my junior year. We was going at it. I think one game, but he had Andrew Andrews too. UW was tough that year. I had 28 on them one game, but it was at the crib, and those games should be so lit. We ended up losing them. But I was like, and the scoring college is kind of scoring college is tough, bro. And when I had 28, I was like, bro, for me to almost have 30 in a college game, I was just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, and it was against the players like that, Andrew Andrews, DeJounte.
You say played against Marquise?
Yeah, Marquise Chris. Chris was there. Mm-hmm. And then, but yeah, DeJounte, he was tough, bro. Like, it was weird because like whenever I see him dribble back then, I always thought he was about to lose the ball, but he just found a way to like to just keep it tight. And then he was like 6'5" too with the craziest floater.
He's long.
Bro. Like,
he's real long.
His floater package as a freshman was insane, bro. Like,
it's still like that.
It's still like that. He don't miss floaters, bro. It's crazy.
Any players that you kind of maybe you played against them that you're kind of shocked maybe they kind of made it to the league? Maybe you just, they're shocked maybe, but like, man, they really like put the work in. They made it to the league. Like, you're like, man.
Derek White.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
He found a big
nice. Colorado Boulder right there, yep.
Yeah, I played against Derek White. I actually hit a game winner on him and his teammate in college. It was crazy. It was on both of them later.
He got a game winner now, too, now. He got a game winner, too, now.
Well, D White.
Vaughn's guy.
And I'm not too surprised. Really, because I saw how good he was. It's just the fact that he started at a D2 and really just continued to elevate is actually insane.
Hustle is
like, you gotta
there.
give it up for guys like D White. Man, who else, bro? Oh, what's my man's name from USC? He's on the Wolves now.
Oh, Jordan McLaughlin
Jordan McLaughlin. So the thing is, I'm not surprised by Jordan McLaughlin.
He went to Notre Dame.
Jordan McLaughlin's tough, bro. Like he's tough. It's just the thing is that like it's just good to see him like really killing because like how do I even say this? Like guys like Jordan McLaughlin really don't get that chance sometimes as they should, and he's really like maximizing it and stuff like that. So it's dope to see that. Jordan McLaughlin. I'm trying to. If I go by the schools, Cal, no, Stanford.
There's a lot of talent in Pac-12,
bro. Especially back then.
Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
He should. The thing is, he's in a tough situation in Boston, bro. Because Pritchard got.
They got guards.
Like, Pritchard got game, but it's just like when you're in that type of situation, bro. It's like. You know where the ball going, bro. Like, keep it a stack. Like, it's going to Tatum and Brown, bro. And Pritchard's the type of guy, he works out so much. You can just tell he works out so much in the summer.
No.
To not get the chance to really, like, show the work you put in, I can tell that kind of eats at a guy like that, you know?
But he's been keeping his head down, though. And when he finds opportunity, he for sure making some shit shake in there.
Facts. Yeah, he make that shit shake for sure. Like, pause. Woo. Jesus. I'm trying. That's funny as hell. I'm trying to think though.
Real quick, Ike, I wanted to follow up on Peyton Pritchard because you were mentioning how he's just kind of in a tough situation. But now the Celtics did trade Marcus Smart. The main piece they're bringing back is Porzingis, so that might open a door. Do you think that that's an opportunity he could seize? Because, like you were saying, obviously 1A, 1B, Tatum and Brown. But do you think he might be able to get a starting spot?
Yeah, he's for sure. I would assume so. It's like because it's like this might be it. Like this might be the chance, you know. So he for sure gotta make it count.
Yes, for a trade.
And he's probably working out a whole ton and stuff like that, trying to make sure that he's prepared for the moment. But yeah, he's for sure. I mean, anyone would in his situation. Like they just traded away the starting PG. Like I gotta go get that, you know. So,
as he should.
Yeah, as he should. So he's probably thinking that for sure.
Yeah, and Toddy was saying it. I guess I must have missed it. So Toddy, Peyton Pritchard requested a trade from the Celtics. Is that something that I
did?
missed?
I remember seeing that.
Absolutely.
Wait,
I thought you were joking, Vaughn. I swear to God, I thought you were joking.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know about that. Wow.
I'm a Celtics fan, so.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty in tune. So.
He really did. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Quick little tangent. I know this isn't about me, but in the AAU circuit, we played against Peyton Pritchard, and our coach was like, "All right, guys, 3-time state player of the year at Oregon." I'm like, Oregon. Any of us to walk in here and do this.
You only be hearing about hoopers coming out of Oregon, bro.
Man, torched us. So Peyton Pritchard definitely I show a lot of love.
Facts.
So you got a shot.
Kevin. Nope. Kevin, we haven't heard from you in a while, so I want to hear what you got to ask.
Definitely. So we're still moving on from college. I know you entered your name into the draft your junior year, but you decided to come back. What were the NBA scouts telling you that really made you want to come back for your senior season?
Man, they was telling me a whole bunch of stuff, bro. They told me I had to get right. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, at least they be honest, bro.
Nah, it was cool because the thing was back then you really couldn't talk to agents and stuff like that, bro.
Yeah.
So it's like, I knew this one guy who I knew an agent, and this one guy was like homies of an agent trying to become an agent. And then he was like, Ike, like when you declare, let me be your agent, I'm gonna find out what you gotta work on. So like I was like, all right, bro, like it's cool. It was like he needs to be more of a creator. Ball handling isn't where it should be. Really not a consistent shooter. Blah 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 blah. They were saying a whole bunch of stuff. And then I was like, all right. So I just took that, and kind of just once my senior year got better. I think my senior year I shot like I want to say like 38% from three or something like that. I'm like maybe like 3 attempts a game, 2 or 3 attempts a game. My free throws were like highs, like maybe mid or high 70s. I didn't know how to really shoot free throws back then, but now I'm good. I think this last season I shot like 84, 85 or something like that. But college senior year was around like high 80s, I think, or high 70s somewhere. And then my assist numbers were whatever. I think it was like 3. I might have averaged like 13, like 3 and 3. But I would play the 1, the 2, the 3. I was doing a lot because I was just so much more athletic than everybody. And I just like
you could just go by people.
He just had to put me out there, and I just had to kind of figure it out. Yeah.
So going into your senior season, I know you're motivated to make it to the league. So once you finally got to these, we mentioned it earlier with Kyle Kuzma talking about the pre-draft workouts. Can you, one, give us how many pre-draft workouts you had and kind of what it looks like from the outsiders looking in, because we only get to see what the teams put out on social media, the pictures. So give us an inside scoop of what a pre-draft workout really is.
Bro, I will tell y'all the craziest story anyone
What year is
ever
this too?
had. Huh?
What year is this too?
Oh, this is 2017. Summer 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I had the craziest first workout. So I think in total I had 6 workouts. One for the Jazz, the Kings, the Brooklyn Nets, the Knicks, and Memphis. I feel like there was one more, but I'm pretty sure it was 5. It was 5. Yeah. So then So I was with Wasserman back in this time. Wasserman is the agency, big time agency, right? And we had a pre-draft workout, and it's when all the teams come in and stuff like that. So 2 weeks before you, or a week before you had a pre-draft workout, they put you in certain groups because they want to highlight you. So they're gonna put you in a workout group that's gonna be highlighted towards your skills. You know what I'm saying? So like all the guards are with each other, and all the guards are with each other, but all the PGs are with each other. All the shooting guards are with each other. The threes, the wings with each other. 4 and 5, same thing, right? So my group was me, Nigel Williams-Goss, and LJ Rose. And there was a dude from Brazil, but I forgot what his name was. But I just remember my boy LJ Rose, myself, and Nigel Williams-Goss, who was at Gonzaga, who just left Gonzaga, who I think they went to the final. They went to the chip that year when they lost to North Carolina, I think it was. So it was us 3. We're getting ready for this workout. They put us through the same workout every day. So when the day comes, when all the teams come, we're gonna kill it, right? So we walk into the gym. This is day. It's kind of like a damn like a ballet show. Like you go to the opera and it's like lights on. It's like one of those, bro. Like you've been practicing all this choreography and stuff like that, and then now it's time for us to really show it. So we walk into the gym, bro. It was at Santa Monica High School, and I promise you, I saw everyone that had to do anything with the NBA, all the big names. They was at that gym in my workout. I saw Magic, I saw Eric Spoelstra, I saw Doc Rivers, I saw Jerry West,
the logo.
All their assistant coaches from all 32 teams, 32, whatever, how many teams, they were there watching them, bro. And when I told you, because my thing was, because they want each guy to do certain things. Like, they want Nigel, you're a vocal person, make sure you're always talking. LJ, you're extremely skilled, but you're not the most athletic. So when you go to the rim, don't do any layups, don't try to dunk, just do floaters. And then my thing was, anytime you go to the rim, do a crazy dunk. Anytime. That's what they told me. So I was like, all right, bro. So then, and this is when my adrenaline was going crazy, bro. So
imagine.
And the thing is, I'm a 2 for a jumper. Like, for me to jump off 1, I have to have some type of speed and momentum. Yeah, when I tell you, I'm brawling and shit, I'm doing stuff I had never done before, bro. And then off that, and the thing was, I couldn't miss. My college coach, Ernie Kent, was there. And he came up to me after. He was like, I've never seen you shoot like that ever in my life. I was like, yeah, bro. I just been working on my shit, and it was time for me to show it, and I did my thing. Yeah. And my agent at the time comes up to me and was like, yo, Ike, you're really gonna, you did well for yourself. So things are gonna happen for you. I was like, all right, cool. I don't know what's really going on. I'm just here, bro. Because the thing, I didn't really have a big homie really telling me like how to go about things. Like I just was hearing stuff from my agent, and I was like, all right, when it's time for me to perform, I just gotta perform. So then a few days later, I'm at a yoga class down somewhere in Santa Monica, and we're like halfway. We're like 45 minutes in right now. I'm sweating and shit. And a guy from the front desk comes into the yoga class and was like, hey, is there a guy named Ike here? And I was like, yeah, it's me. He's like, yo, your agent's on the phone. I was like, on the phone? He's like, yeah, he called the front desk. I was like, all right. I pick up the phone. My agent's like, Ike, I got a workout for you. You're going to work out with the Utah Jazz tomorrow afternoon. Where are you? Sure. I was like, bro, where am I? You know I'm at this yoga studio. He's like, all right, I'm going to get you an Uber to LAX, and you're going to have a flight.
From the yoga studio?
Straight from the yoga studio. Bro, I'm sweating, bro. And one of my biggest pet peeves in life is when I'm out in public sweating.
Yeah.
Like, I could sweat.
I want to take a shower.
But when I have a fit on or something like that, and I'm like, bro, I got to take a shower. So he's like, all right, you're going to hop in the Uber. I got you a flight from LAX to Utah. Everything's going to be taken care of. I didn't have any clothes. I just had my phone and my wallet, and that was it. Like, wow. I didn't have no socks, no pair of shoes, no
whatever yoga clothes.
I didn't have nothing, bro. When I got to Utah, they put me in a nice suite. They gave me hella stuff, bro, like hella socks and all this stuff, all this gear, you know. So then had my workout. It was cool. It was who was in there? Dwayne Bacon was there.
Bacon.
Bro, that was the PG from Michigan. Derek.
Trey Burke?
No, Derek Walton.
Derek Walton, okay.
Derek Walton was there. Kennedy Meeks from North Carolina was there. And what's my other dude's name? What school did he go to? There's one I forgot what school he went to, but he ended up playing with Milwaukee a little bit. But he was there. Sterling Brown, I think his name was.
Sterling Brown.
Yeah. So yeah, he was there too. Yeah, but that was a crazy experience, bro.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if everyone knows is listening in, but you did not mention the Clippers, but you did mention Doc Rivers. So we're gonna fast forward a bit.
Facts.
So there's a story going out, Ike, that I'm gonna let you take over, but the people on the podcast need to hear it. So I'll let you introduce it and line it up for us.
Yeah, it's so funny now that I told it. I told this podcast. I told this story on the podcast a few times, and ever since then, it's like everyone really wants to know. I got y'all. It's good. So random day, bro. Random day during the summer. I think it was NBA preseason going on, and at this time, I had the workouts. The draft already happened. Went to summer league. Didn't play at all. Only played like last 5 minutes of the last game, whatever. So I'm like, all right, I got my name. I'm about to enter my name in the G League draft. And then it could have been like a Wednesday, bro. I'm chilling. I just finished working out. I get back to my parents' crib because I stayed with my parents at the time, and I'm chilling watching TV. And one of my boys, Theo, he's with me. We just worked out. We're watching the Clippers play the Kings in preseason, and then my agent calls me, and I was like, what are you calling me for? I pick up, and he's like, yo, Ike, how fast can you get to the airport? I was like, get to the airport? Okay, it's like,
we remember the last time
right now. I can get there. I can get there in like 25, 30 minutes. He's like, wow. I was like, wow, what's up? He said, you're going to be playing with the Clippers tonight against the Lakers. Pack a bag and leave in 5 minutes.
No way.
And I was like, bro, what? He's like, I was like, wait, what are you talking about? He's like, you are going to be playing with the Clippers tonight against the Lakers. And mind you, I'm watching the Clippers play on TV. I'm watching Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan on TV. Like,
I'm about to be on this team.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're gonna play with the Clippers tonight against the Lakers. Get to the airport. Yeah. I called my mom, because my mom worked from home. I was like, Mom, I need a ride to the airport. She was like, why? I was like, Mom, I'm gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna pack a bag, take him to the airport because apparently I'm gonna be with the Clippers tonight. I don't know what's going on, Mom, but just take me to the airport. Wow. She's like, all right, whatever. Boom, damn. Go upstairs for a quick minute, throw on a little fit. Because my agent was like, I put on a nice outfit because you're going to go through the tunnel. So I was like, all right, whatever. So then...
league fits.
Yeah, this is before league fits. Remember, I think my fit was nasty. It wasn't nasty, but it wasn't crazy. I just had a long sleeve. Remember the way Chelsea Boots had a chokehold on dudes back in 2017? Yeah. I still had on like a white long sleeve, some black jeans, and the Chelsea Boots, bro. That shit was hilarious.
This is 2017?
Yeah. So then get to the airport, bro. Get through security, right? And like gate 5 says to LAX and gate 6 says to Orange County, and then I was on the flight to Orange County, but I was like, I called my agent. I was like, yo, I'm on the flight to Orange County. He's like, no, Ike, you need to be on the flight to LAX. If you go to Orange County, you're not gonna make it in time. So I go
What
to
time
LAX.
is it?
Huh?
What time is it at this point?
So this time the game's at 7. This time it's probably 1. It's probably like 1 in the afternoon.
You're not going through walkthrough or nothing.
Yeah.
You're going straight.
No, bro. Mind you, I finished the workout, bro. Like my legs was pretty tired, so I get to the airport and all that stuff. I get to the gate. LAX is full. Like flights to LAX full, and I can't go to Orange County. I'm also gonna miss the game. So I'm like, yo, this is the last preseason game of the season or of the preseason. So it's like I can't make the next one. This is it or nothing, bro.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, yo, like LAX is full. He's like, Ike, you need to be on that flight. And then I went up to the lady, whoever it was. I was like, yo, I got this game. I'm playing. I know it sounds crazy right now, but tonight with the Clippers against the Lakers, like I got to be on this flight, please, like. Whatever you need, like
this
nobody
game on
need
TV?
me to do, like I just need to be on this flight. She's like, okay, like I'm gonna see what I can do. Gets me on the flight, bro. Crazy. So then get on the flight, and I'm just like, bro, like this shit really about to happen. Like I'm really about to play with the Clippers. I remember Shaun taking a picture on fucking Snapchat back then, and like kind of like, yo, I'm about to everyone stay tuned. Your boy gonna be on ESPN. No, it was TNT. It was TNT. Your boy
game was on TNT. That's
dude,
crazy.
Like, what was I talking about? I was like, bro, watch. So then, so I get there, we land in LAX. They got a driver, and then they got D Brown. D Brown was the GM of their G League team, but like assistant GM for the Clippers or something like that. With like it was something like that. They had the car for us. We get in the car, a big SUV type of deal, and we get in the car, and he's like. He opens up his map. He's like, all right, this is what we're running. Show me the sets, all this stuff. While we're going on our way to Staples Center, what's now Crypto Arena.
Yeah.
So like we're watching all this film. I'm seeing all these actions, and my thing was, all right, look, I knew from the jump, I'm not gonna remember all these plays. I'm just this is no way. Yeah. But the thing is, for me, it's like let me make this simple as possible. I know in basketball, if you don't know what you're doing, go sit in the corner. So I was like, I knew if there was any point where I didn't know what I was doing, I was sitting in the corner and I was gonna swing the ball. I just knew like those two things I knew how to do. Yeah. Because you just know it, bro. So
that's why IQ.
Yes, I just knew from being smart. If I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just give someone else the ball and get the hell out the way, bro. Like straight up. So then, so he showed me all these things. Like, all right, cool, whatever. They just doing all these like floppy action, delay actions, all that stuff. I was like, okay, I could 5 out. Guy goes towards you, either go back door or come off the handoff, and then you go back door, finish your route, go all the way through to the weak side, stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, I know how to do that stuff, bro. So then we get there, and then I'm thinking, all right, I'm finna warm up, all this stuff. They was like, nah, you gotta do you gotta get a physical. So I had to take a EKG test for my heart. So they put me in this like they take me to this like little weight room in the back, and then I see Blake. And they're trying to hook me up.
Blake Griffin, by the way, guys.
Yeah. I be saying, I don't know these dudes. I just, everyone, But yeah, so I see Blake Griffin. And then I'm talking to the Clippers people. They're putting all these little monitors on my chest. I look crazy, bro. And then
I've done that.
Yeah, I look crazy. So then Blake was like, oh, bro, what's your name? I was like, all right, Blake, nice to meet you. I was like, bro, I know you. Like, what? So then I start getting on the treadmill, and then funny thing is, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell y'all a story. But so before, if you pause this, so 2 years before this, I met Alex Caruso at this captain's camp in Ohio, right? Mm-hmm. Wow. And AC, we got cooled in, right? And so fast forward, he's on a 2-way with the Clippers, with the Lakers, I mean. Wow. So, and this is when he was his first 2-way. So, and this is the last preseason game. So he had to make it count, bro. Like he really had to make it count. So then AC walks into the locker room. He's like, all right. I was like, bro.
I don't even know.
I was like, I don't know.
So I'm here, brother. That's all that matters.
I was like, bro, they called me, bro. I was working out. They called me. My agent got me on the flight. I'm just here, bro. Like, I'm just going with it. I don't know what's going on, bro. Yeah. So then, so I see AC. I go through the physical. Then once I finish the physical, I go and I get on the court. And the one thing people don't tell you about the NBA 3, bro, is they don't people don't realize how big of a difference it is from the college 3 to the NBA 3. Bro, it was tough for me to get the ball to the rim. It's improved way like drastically since then. Yeah. But I just remember thinking, I was like, bro, how am I going to shoot accurately, bro? Like I could not get the ball to the rim. I remember Brandon Ingram has said that too. Like his first few years in the league, he couldn't get the ball to the rim either. Like it's a crazy jump you gotta make. But so anyways, I'm going through the warm up and stuff like that. I was super tired, bro. But like this is like cause I just ran like 2 miles on the treadmill.
2 miles.
Like I had worked out at like 9 a.m. that day. By this time it's like 5. Bro, the game hasn't even started yet, bro. Like I still gotta gotta hoop in the game. Yeah. So then fast forward, finish that. Doc has his meeting in the locker room.
Who's on the team at this time too?
Oh, bro, it was
Lob City, yeah.
Lob City. No. CP wasn't there. I think CP had just left to Houston.
Oh, gotcha.
Gotcha. Yeah, he just left to Houston. So was Pat Beck,
Blake's still there.
Austin Rivers, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan.
Mid transition, basically.
Was Lil on that
team? Zubac. I think Zubac was a rookie. Just got drafted, and then
was Lil Williams on that team?
You saw who?
Lil Williams.
How can I get Lil Will? Lil Will for sure was on that team. And shout out to Lil Will, bro. Because once Doc Rivers finishes what he was saying, we all go to the end of the tunnel, man, and like put our hands in, and Lil Will starts breaking the huddle down. And he was like, "Hey, my man right here," and he tapped me on the face. Like, my man right here came all the way from Sac straight off the flight. Like, let's make sure we show him a lot of love and stuff like that. And I really appreciated that, bro, because he didn't have to do that.
OG.
I really appreciate that.
That probably helped you too, huh? Take a little deep breath for your first NBA moment right here.
I was like, I'm about to show out. And the thing was, I was like saying next to Lil, I was like, I saw sizing him. I was like, shit, like I for sure can be stressed.
You for sure get that confidence for sure. I bet.
Nah, 100%. So then the game started. And I didn't even play in the first quarter, bro.
Did they tell you or anything? You were gonna get minutes or how the night finna go?
Yeah,
bro.
Like that? Right when I got there, I seen Doc Rivers. He was like, "Oh, you're Ike." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, man, be ready to play 40 tonight." That's what he told me. Be ready to play 48. He said, "Be ready to play 48." Yeah. I was like, say less.
Yeah. I'm getting all the minutes.
I was like, bro, I'm just like, I'm here, bro. Like, I'm whatever you need, I got you. So then, I didn't play in the first quarter. Then I got in at the start of the second quarter, and it was just like, I was just like, my fault. Let me pause. I'm talking too fast. When you walk into Staples, bro, Staples Center has like a weird, what's now crypto, it has like a weird glow, bro. Like, like there's like a fog, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really like a spotlight. Like all the light is just on. Of course, there's like a fog when you don't see it on TV, but if you go to the game, people know what I'm talking about. So then
some people might call it the house that Kobe built.
Yeah, facts. Call it that. And then, and it's funny, I was playing with the Clippers, but I saw nothing but Kobe pics everywhere. It was hilarious. Yeah. So then, so I'm on the court and stuff like that. Doc Rivers was like, all right, I get in. I sub in, bro. Man, I look crazy, bro. Baggy jersey, baggy shorts. Oh, you got the clip right there, number 9. Nasty number, bro.
Yeah.
Nasty number, bro. Nasty. But
hey, you trying to finish on the other side though?
Nah, I think I missed that. I'm not really too sure, bro. It was tough. That's tough though. But yeah, when I got in the game, I was just like, I went up and down once. I played one time on offense, one time on defense, and I was like, bro, I'm here. Like, and then I started like getting into the game, and guys were talking on defense. I'm like, bro, I know everything these guys are talking about, bro. Like, this ain't nothing new. And now
it's just basketball,
huh?
It was just basketball.
Yeah, it was just hoop. Yeah. And then Carl Pope, he came up to me and was like, "Hey, bro, how you doing, bro?" I was like, "Bro, I'm chilling, bro. Like, what's up with you?" What?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Who's on that Laker team at that time?
Oh, bro, it was nice. Lonzo he was on the team, but he didn't play. So it was AC, Alex Caruso, Brandon Ingram, Caldwell Pope, Julius Randle,
the youngins.
Oh, they was on that team, yeah.
Rob Lopez,
Kyle Kuzma.
Kuz, yes, Kuz was there too.
Was Clarkson still on the team? Jordan Clarkson?
I think he was, but he didn't play.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure he was, but he didn't play. But all those dudes were on the team, bro. And I remember Brandon Ingram was guarding me. he just put his arms out, bro. And bro, I was like,
long body.
I was like, bro, what? Like he had his wingspan was like 7'2" or some crazy shit, bro. I was like, that's insane. But nah, it was a crazy experience, bro. Cause like I got lost in the game and just started doing my thing. Caught a little tip dunk. I was live after that.
Yeah, I was about to say, so like, were you able to calm down and just play by basketball? And then did you not think about nothing else during that moment?
Yeah, no, it was easy, bro. It was easy, especially like, cause at the end of the day, bro, this is what I do every day. So I was like, I know how to hoop, bro. And with the situation was crazy, cause me flying in like that, I was just like, bro, like.
Insane experience.
Yeah,
from
I was like,
Sac
I can't do no wrong, bro. Like I knew it was only up, so yeah, it was probably the craziest day of my life for real.
What was the post reaction? How's the phone blowing up? What's everyone saying? They see you with the tip done. What's happening?
I got my phone right here, bro. So my phone, like, I couldn't use it for like for 30 minutes after the game, because it was next to my seat, and it was literally like jumping off my seat. Like my phone was vibrating crazy. People from second grade was hitting my line. Like,
everyone's spinning the block now.
Bro, it was wild, bro. It was so crazy, bro.
Showing all the love.
It was wild. It was wild.
What was the post game preference? Post game like for you, kind of after the game?
You said the post game what?
The post game press conference where people.
Oh, it was cool. It was cool. They like all these cameras in my face. I was like, man, just smile, just have fun with it. It was cool. They started asking me about what my day was like, and I was like, bro, like, I woke up today. Got a call and I'm just in LA.
I'm in LA on big screen though.
Yeah, no, that was it was definitely a cool moment.
Hope you got a little solid bag that day too, bro.
You said what?
Hope you got a little solid bag that day too for the one day.
For sure. No, I did. Yeah. I did. For sure. It was the fact that it was just off one. So I got what I got. I'm not gonna say the exact amount, but you get paid for all those games, right? But I got paid as if I played like 6 preseason games.
Fresh. They got you right then.
Yeah, so it was very smooth. It was very smooth.
So I wanted to ask you about that since you flew. I mean, sounds like you've had a lot of those situations between the workout in Utah and then now with actual game day. And like, I'm just a fan at the end of the day. Like, I'm trying to be a journalist in the NBA or some type of professional sport one day. But as of right now, I'm just a fan. And as a fan, I've seen players talk about when they have travel issues. I think mostly about like Portland, where Kevin's at in the Pacific Northwest, where they've had a couple of days where because of snow, they couldn't fly out until the day of a game. And so what were some of the biggest differences for you just in your experience from like when you were at Washington, obviously having plenty of road trips where you had time to prepare versus a situation like that where you're traveling day of and you're just thrown into the fire?
Man, me and my family got this thing we say. It's like, you say can't get no worse. Like, hey man, this is what we got, bro. Like, you just gotta make it shake. You gotta make it work, bro. So, but situations like that, it's like, especially with me flying in, they called me last minute. I was like, bro, what can they expect? Want me to come out here and drop 50? Like, I'm gonna try, but like here we go. Like, I can't do bad, bro. It's only up from here. So, with situations like that, I was like, I'm gonna just have fun with it, and then end up doing my thing. And it was a cool experience.
Do you see it making a huge difference? I'm sorry, Gary. I just wanted to follow up on that one last time. Do you see it making a huge difference, though, like on a game-to-game basis in terms of, like, you're really affected a lot more?
You definitely don't want to be on anything random, like, all the time during game days, bro. Like, right now, for sure, as a pro, like, I have a routine. I do night before a game and day of the game for the night of the game, because my preparation for games starts the night before. Sometimes they used to start 2 nights before, but then I kind of like got better with it. But night before a game is when my preparation starts for the game the next day. So I mean, with that situation, it was really like it is what it is, bro. Just gotta make it work. But when I know like I have things planned out, because that's how usually things work. I know like things like it's not always random. It's just like once in a blue moon type of thing.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask real quick back to the NBA story real quick. What did you get any advice from anyone? Or, I bet you everyone's probably telling you something, but any advice that stick with you you learned from any of those guys you're in the locker room with, or maybe anything that you just learned from just being on the NBA floor? Obviously, I gave you some confidence, like you said, that you should be here. But anything else along those lines that you feel like you really learned at that moment? achieving your dream, to be honest.
Yeah, shout out to Pat Bev, bro, because I was talking to him a little bit on the bench and stuff like that, because I was sitting next to him. Because the thing was, after Lou Will said that, because most of the rookies, they got to sit on the floor or at the end of the bench. But because my situation was so crazy, they let me sit up front with the vets and stuff like that, you know? So it was really looking out. So I was talking to Pat Bev, and I was like, hey, bro, like, because I heard the story about Pat Bev when he was in Houston, like, when Jeremy Lin was there, that he picked Jeremy Lin, like, 10 times in practice. So I wanted to ask. So I was like, right here, I was like, hey, bro, like, I heard this story, like, how many times did you really pick Jeremy Lin when that first practice in Houston? I heard it was 10 times, and he was like, nah, bro, it wasn't 10, it was 26. I was like,
Pat Bev fashion, bro. That's the type of answer you want to get.
What? So then I was like,
they were in Houston together. That's right.
No, yeah, Pat Bev was cool. He was real cool. So then fast forward, I'm playing in the G League, right? And then we just played in the G League. I played in the G League showcase. I played cool. I think the first game was whatever, but the second game was on ESPN. And I had like 22.7 assists, like maybe 4 or 5 rebounds or something like that. And then it was in Toronto. So then we fly all the way back to LA, and I would get, since I was on the G League team, they would give me passes to go to Staples, and I could be like in the locker room with the team and stuff like that. They give me passes to the game. So I remember one time after the game, I pulled up to the locker room, and I see Pat Bev and everybody and stuff like that. And Pat was like, "Hey, bro, like I see you, bro. Like you was really killing in the showcase." And I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Hey, bro, I appreciate that." But then after, I'm like, "Damn, he really like tuned in." You know what I'm saying? Like, because you think guys in the league, they not watching none of that stuff. They just focus on what they got going on. But for him to like tap in and really like show me that he seen me and like appreciate the game I had, I really appreciate that for sure.
We want to be respectful of. I gotta get better at the.
Nah, that's cool, bro. It's cool. I ain't tripping.
Well, that's something that we were talking about before you jumped on. Is like in this age, ever since COVID, like everything's on Zoom and everything, and so I got to figure out a way for me to be better in sync. But Kevin's going to take it because we want to be respectful of your time and get you out of here.
For sure,
yes, definitely, man. Once again, we want to thank you for coming on the show, man. All the great insight. We really look forward to it, and you delivered, man. So we see the bling on your neck, man. Go ahead and share with the listeners what the bling stand for. Go ahead. Let them see.
Okay.
Yes, sir. JKG, man. Stands for Just Keep Going Worldwide, and basically. The brand, bro. So in life, I feel like everyone, no matter if you're a hooper or like yourself, Shaun, trying to be a journalist, you're gonna have ups and downs. But at the end of the day, you just gotta keep going. So JKG, just keep going. Shout out to the brand. I sold out of these pretty fast, so I'm re-upping and restocking pretty soon. But hit the IG, Twitter, Just Keep Going Worldwide, at Just Keep Going Worldwide. And hit the link in the bio to head to the shop and get some merch. And but yeah, so that's the brand, and I hope everyone has to do it. So JKG to the world, man.
Straight up,
the world, man.
Facts.
Some positivity, brother.
Next time the chains come through, man, y'all gonna see me come with one, man. I gotta grab one. I've been seeing all the videos you putting them on, people. I'm gonna come personally.
Hey, real support, real man. Appreciate you, brother.
Man. So definitely, man. I just want to shout out for the 4 of us, or the 3 of us, including me. We really appreciate it, man, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. You keep putting on for the city, and we're definitely paying attention. Ty, I'll let you close it out.
Appreciate the love.
I got one last question for you. We talked about this earlier in the show. I need your top 5 hoop mixtapes, like ever in like the history, because this is just something, growing up, me and Kev watched a lot of, I'll just say a couple of people that we used to watch when we were in high school. You graduated a little bit before us. So guys that me and Kev used to watch were, you mentioned Dwayne Bacon. He was a guy I used to watch a lot growing up in high school.
Super tough, super smooth.
Corey Sanders, another guy who I used to watch.
I played against him before, yep.
Trevor Dunbar, obviously.
My boy.
Which is insane. Stanley Johnson is a guy. I went to go watch him when he came out here. They played the state championship against Stanley.
Stanley the best. Stanley got maybe the best high school resume ever.
Yeah. I could definitely agree with you, because he was a guy I just watched growing up. You mentioned that he was on the Soldiers team, but he was under you. And then
he was a year.
I mean, you could just name GOATs like John Wall. He's been up there. Brandon Jennings.
Yeah, top five. I
Kyrie
got
Irving.
Top five.
Yeah.
It's number one easily. John Wall number one.
Yeah.
His mixtape. I probably watched when his mixtape came out, bro. It kind of like shifted the culture, bro. Like his mixtape was crazy. That Hoop mixtape from John Wall, bro. Nah, that shit was insane.
Shaking everybody.
Yeah. So John Wall number one. Austin Rivers number two.
Woo! People forget how raw he was.
But Austin Rivers senior mixtape. I'm drop 40 right now. Like nah, he was super tough.
Yeah.
I watched that thousands of times. And then this is where it kind of like goes for my preference, right?
Yeah.
So then number three, I'ma say. No, actually, this is easy. This ain't even on YouTube no more. I don't think. Derrick Rose's senior year, his hoop mixtape though. There's a ball, but the hoop mixtape D Rose.
Yep.
Nah, bro, that's number 3 for sure. Easy, bro.
Yeah.
And then number 4, I'ma go. Brandon Jennings. Brandon Jennings, and then number 4. I think his Boss Life one. His Boss Life one was fire. It's like 8 minutes long. I watched that whole thing. Shit was crazy. And then number 5, I'm gonna go Josiah Turner's
Josiah.
Yeah, because I watched that mixtape religiously, bro. Like religiously, I watched that mixtape religiously. So yeah, Josiah Turner's senior year YF mixtape number 5 for sure.
Yeah.
But that's my top 5 mixtapes.
That's all top 5 for sure.
Facts.
All right, Ike. Well, we really appreciate you for joining us, and
No
thank you so much. And everyone, make sure to follow Just Keep Going Worldwide. I love the message, and it's tough out here just trying to make it in journalism in general. And so I appreciate the message, and I believe it 100%. Just thank you so much for your time tonight.
KKG,
for joining
my
us.
boy. All right, y'all be easy.
Man.
All right, brother.
Sir.
Appreciate your time.
All right, bro. It's good. Peace.
Take it easy, man.
Yep.
All right, so here we are on episode number 41 of Stats Over Politics. Thank you to Ike for joining us. We really appreciate
How awesome was
him
that?
and his time. That was super awesome. I mean,
Let's
just give some early reactions. What was your favorite part of that interview?
Just him just going through like the transition from him going from Franklin to like I wouldn't say international, like on a national scale, where he's going to like all the camps and seeing guys like Zach LaVine playing against, going to Oak Hill, playing against guys like D'Lo, Ben Simmons, and then, going to college, and him just being really cool with Aaron Gordon and Trevor Dunbar. Trevor Dunbar is a guy that I used to watch religiously in high school. Like, Shift Team was like a whole movement. It took like the whole like country by storm. Like, hoop, just basketball. I think he went to like St. Ignatius.
Yeah.
It's in like the Bay Area or something like that. So just for him to just be on the same team as him and just it's just crazy. And then the Zach LaVine story was pretty crazy too, where he was like in slides
with a full backpack.
Backpack on, just does it. Like you might be in the dunk contest one day. So. And he was talking about how Brian was at his AAU game. That's also pretty insane too. So, just all of the little mini hoop stories, just being in just AAU in general, you kind of go through it. As me and Kev probably went through it more than you guys did, but just the whole AAU culture, and how it was just in high school, and just how he just talked about his experience, I thought was crazy.
What do you think, Gary?
To be honest, I just love when we have guys on here from SAC, you know what I'm saying, born and representing the city well, and you know what I'm saying, showing that anything's possible. All the way made it to a league day, got a chance to play in the NBA one of those days, and just keep going and following his dreams. So just like his just keep going worldwide statement and his brand, just love all that, to be honest with you. Great interview, great guy, to be honest. Shout out to Kev too.
That you brought on.
Shout out to Kev too for all the background information too.
Right, man, trying to make sure we all right.
He said
my favorite part was every time we heard of North Carolina, I look at the screen. All you see is talking about this. He go, and then it'll go back to the corner. Every North Carolina go, it'll go back to the corner. So that by far was the best part about it. But yeah, I've known Ike for a while, and he's been the same guy. And you would think, going to Oak Hill and playing in the NBA, and we didn't get into it, but him being overseas and being an All-Star Game MVP, you think he'd walk around with this kind of ego, but he's just helping us out. You know, we're an up and coming podcast, and he was all down and excited to come on. So just wanted to show love for him and him just showing love for us. And, you know, it just goes back to what Garry was saying. You know, Sacramento is really undervalued, but we all stick together and it shows out. So what was your favorite part of the interview, Shaun?
Man, one thing that I did pick up on, but I didn't want to jump in too much, is that Toddy asked him who he thought the best dunker ever was. And that's when he talked about Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. I don't think he actually gave us a locked in answer on that. So I was going to follow up on that, but I didn't want to jump in too much. But my favorite part, honestly, was just hearing all the different names that he was mentioning, like the notable guys, the big household names that he saw like at that level, and not only on a high school level, but also just on the AAU circuit and everything. And so I just thought it was awesome. Got to learn a lot more about him. And also my other favorite part was just the insider knowledge, kind of as you guys were saying, just like, because like I was saying earlier, like I tried out for my high school basketball team, didn't even make my high school basketball team. So to hear things like on a deeper level, and like how like I always, like as a really young kid, before I realized my athletic ability wasn't there, but as a young kid I dreamed of doing things like I got to do. And so to hear his perspective is really awesome.
Yeah, he walked into the Clipper locker room and was like, yeah, I was talking to Blake. Yeah, Blake Griffin, guys.
Right, just casual. Just my man Blake.
He jumped over a car.
He jumped over a car.
So,
The hood of a car, but yeah, he did jump over a car.
okay. Yeah.
It's that time, ladies and gentlemen. I know the interview went and we killed it, but we still got another about 15, 20 minutes. So we got some content for you guys. So we're going to kill it. So we're going to start with fact or cap. So for all the day one listeners, you know that specifically Garry will say, Kevin, man, we need some preparation, because Shaun always gets a little insight, because I always send him the questions. So Toddy and Garry are always the ones sitting on the outside looking in. So I've been giving some research. So I tell everybody to come with your top 10 all time. And Garry, I'm going to go to you first. The question, fact or cap, Kevin Durant is in the top 10 all time for NBA basketball.
You wouldn't give the guy that's like on the brink for me, Kev. I'm gonna say cap. I'm not gonna put Kevin Durant just in the top 10 just yet. To be honest with you, I always have to differentiate every single time. I don't know why I just like to say it. My personal top 10, yes, I'm not going to lie, with my own eyes, he has to make my top 10. He's one of the best players I've ever watched with my own two eyes. I'm not going to lie. So that's no debate here. But when we put I'm talking about overall, Shaun, there's difference from being shown what you see with your eyes and what you have seen through past knowledge being told to you.
How do you base your opinion? How do you base your opinion off what you see with your eyes, right? Okay, that's just why I misunderstood.
No, okay, that's what I meant. Two things. So anyways, but he's not going to be in my top 10. I think I have Curry right here edging him out. I got LeBron, Akeem. It's not no order. MJ, Tim Duncan, Kobe, Larry Bird, Shaq, and Curry right there. So I think I said Akeem.
You even say Kareem. That's the crazy part.
Kareem.
Yeah.
I meant Kareem. No. I said, man.
I was about to say, I heard Hakeem. I was like, all right.
No, I meant Kareem and Akeem. I just meant to throw both of them in there. So that's my top 10 right there. So he's right on the brink. He's right there at 11. He's right there at 11, bro. Like, I think he's right there, literally. It's him and Curry really fighting for that last spot, 10 spot right now at the moment. At the moment, we don't know. Giannis is coming down the pipe. You never know. Jokic just put a ring on his finger, so we don't know. So I think, but Kevin Durant for sure is top 10, my personal, but is not top 10 all the time. Love you, though, KD.
All right, Shaun, I'm going to go to you next. Fact or cap, is Kevin Durant already a top 10 basketball player of all time?
Kevin, why do you do this to us? Why do
he always likes to add the edge ones. That's what gets us in trouble, for sure.
Well, this is why I have TikTok coming after me constantly.
They hate Shaun with a passion.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go with cap as well, because kind of just like we were talking about last week with Patrick Mahomes, I do think he will be there. But as of right now, like Garry said, right on the edge. Yeah, Garry, I do, because of what he's already done. And if he wins a ring with the Phoenix Suns, that just adds to the resume and the legacy to be able to get into that top 10. I'm right there with Garry. I think he said a lot of the same thoughts that I had, which is why I wanted him to stand on his opinion instead of caring about what other people's top 10s might look like. We are asking what our own top 10s are, Garry, so that's why I wanted to
I appreciate what I seen and what I haven't seen. I didn't see Michael Jordan play. Let's be honest, you didn't. He was last championship was 98. I was born in 98. I didn't see that, but I educated myself on what he did. But what did I see him? No, I did not see him. I seen LeBron. That's why he's my personal GOAT. Just want to explain that. Anyways, go ahead.
Well, I mean, the flaw I see in that argument is that you look at the top 10 list that you might have, and I guarantee you that you did not watch more than half of those players, because you look at the list. I did not watch players. You might have Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, half of Kobe's career, because let's be real, did you really start watching Kobe until like 2004, 2005 when you're like 6, 7 years old?
Yeah, I was young and watching Kobe for sure.
Yeah, but that's probably the earliest that you watched him, right? And that's almost half his career. And so my point is that you can't really make the argument about not getting to see guys, but just what I've seen from YouTube, because we do have a thing called the YouTube, as you can follow us at Stats Over Politics. But just based on what I've seen, he's right on the fringe for me as well, Garry. But he will be there soon.
All right, Toddy, are you going to make it 3 for 3? Fact or cap? Is Kevin Durant already top 10 all time?
I'm going to say cap. It's like a fraternity, the top 10. Like, if you just look at the guys, like, is he better than Kobe? Is he better than LeBron? Is he better than, like Garry said, Tim Duncan? Kareem's in there. Magic's in there.
Curry?
I mean, Curry's a guy who's changed the game. So it's just like, is he better than those guys? Let's just look at the guys that he, kind of went early in his career that he came in with. Like, D-Wade's kind of in there. It's just so many guys that are top 10 is like, you like has something to do with changing the game. I don't know if Kevin Durant changed the game, but he changed it in the aspect of like,
the big can shoot from far. I'm not gonna lie, he did put that in there.
Like, I would say Dirk had a little bit to do with that as far as guys that could like.
He extended it though.
But KD took it to a different level. Like, all right, I'm 7 foot. I can pull it from 30. I can go by you. I can mix you, put you on the mixtape, and do all this. Like, Kevin Durant changed it from that aspect, but it's like there's no one gonna be like him. So it's like he changed it, but there's not gonna be another Kevin Durant. People like to say Wembanyama could be that guy, but I don't think he has the handle shape that Kevin Durant has. As far as my top 10 goes, I'm not gonna put this anywhere. LeBron, Michael Jordan, you got Kareem, you got Magic, Kobe's in there. That's like 5 already. You got Tim Duncan in there.
Bird,
I think, Larry Bird's in there. Steph Curry's probably got to be in there.
Shaq?
7, Shaq's in there. Like, it's just like there's guys in there that top 10. It's like it's tough to put him in there. I feel like when it's all said and done, he might be like top 15, top 20, but I don't know if he's gonna be in that top 10. So I'm gonna say cap.
Top 10, I love to watch, Shaun. There you go.
So this is gonna be the first fact or cap segment where everybody agrees, because I'm gonna go cap as well. But the one thing I did struggle with, that 10th spot. Do you go the light-skinned killer, or do you go KD? Like you guys have mentioned, the top 9 already solidified. We have Bron, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Kareem, Magic, Kobe, Shaq, Wilt, Tim Duncan. But it's that 10th spot. Are you going to put KD? You going to put Steph? I'm personally going to go Stephen Curry. I just think KD hasn't really done enough by himself. All these guys have been finals MVPs of all their rings, and he's done it themselves, and they won't ever really consider the number 2 option. So I just think Kevin Durant has still a lot to prove. Like Shaun mentioned, if he wins one with the Phoenix Suns and we have this factor cap after the season, I might have a different answer for you. But as of right now, he's right there at 11 for me as well.
If everything goes right for him in Brooklyn, he might be on top.
Oh, let me play the DA then. Well, to be determined, I would say, for Kevin Durant. To be determined, because I think Kevin Durant still has a chance, because I know I see Vaughn going 1, 2, 3, 4 for Curry. And then our KD said that he still has things to be proven. Our other host here thinks that Kevin Durant is a
third option here with every show.
So, I'm sorry, Kevin Durant. I know you're gonna hate our show, and I'm actually hoping one day I wake up to you tweeting our show and talking shit about it.
Oh, it'll be Shaun for sure.
No, and I wouldn't blame you at all. But just know, KD, you are top 10 the person I love to watch and a top 10 talent. I ain't gonna lie, top 10. If we switch the conversation, I bet you guys would all agree more too now. If we switch a top 10 score,
you know, easy. He's top 5 scorer all time.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Kevin Durant's going to get those other aspects. But one thing I would not agree with, and playing my devil's advocate around DA with Kev, he got nothing else to prove. I don't think he has nothing else to prove, in my opinion. I don't think he's a winner.
He's Hall of Famer.
I think he's an easy Hall of Famer if you're top 15. Come on now. So I think he can retire today, and I think he should be happy with his career. He won championships. Maybe not everyone loved the way he won the championships, but he's proven that he's been a winner and in every which way. And he's been, you know what? He did the best he could do in his position, being in the era of LeBron's era, right, Kev? So he did the best he could do. Oh no, what is this?
Come get him, Kevin. Come get him, KD. Now watch. We wake up tomorrow and this goes viral, brother. We're gonna have to get Shaun Hoko t-shirts. What is that name?
We're gonna get
you know, these clout chasers.
oh, for sure.
And we don't care.
Katie's not even gonna broadcast. Next question.
No, he's not.
Well, I apparently was just muted, but yeah, Garry loves misquoting me, but I'm not going to argue about it until the time comes when I need to. So I'll just leave that there. Go ahead.
Okay.
So let's keep it on the hoop scene.
Third option to win the championship. All right, my bad. Go ahead.
You're all good. So let's keep it on the hoop scene. Toddy, I'm going to go to you first. We've heard all the James Harden news. So if James Harden is traded, are the 76ers going to trade Joel Embiid next? Factor cap, Toddy.
Wow. So James Harden gets traded. Is Embiid going to ask out? It depends on who they – because I'm going to say he wants to go to the Clippers. So it's like, well – who do they get back in return? You know, it's kind of like you get pennies on the dollar. It's James Harden. You know, the team that usually, trades the star away doesn't usually win. I'm going to say cap. Is Joel due for a contract extension?
He's a free agent next year.
Ooh, he might walk. If James,
they trade him before he walks.
If James Harden, okay. If James Harden gets traded, Joel doesn't sign an extension, then he's gone. Joel can walk, like Kevin already said. He has, the opportunity to become a free agent after next year. But Philly's going to be looking like, hey, let's try and sign this extension. And he kind of like, well, let's play it out. He's gone. If he says let's just play the season out, he's gone damn near by the deadline. So I'll say fact. I'll say fact for this one. The end of the process era will be over. And, he went, Ben Simmons went through the fire with him. Jimmy Butler was on the team. That was probably their window right there when Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, the Kawhi shot kind of ended the process era, I'd say. And kind of that was their window to win the championship. So, yeah, I'm going to say fact. James Harden, if he gets traded to the Clippers, which ultimately where he's probably going to go, Joel's gone.
All right, Garry, I'm going to send it to you next. Factor cap. If the Sixers trade James Harden, they will have to trade Joel Embiid next.
Cap. I don't think they're going to have to trade Joel Embiid next. I know what Joel Embiid said recently about, wants to win a championship at any spot, and basically any spot. He wants to win the 76ers. He basically wants to win a championship. He doesn't care where. And I feel like it's that point where Joel Embiid is now applying pressure. As simple as that. Every franchise in the NBA has a ticking time bomb, and when your all-star player will reach his boiling point, as we just seen with Damian Lillard, of when you're not going to surround a championship team around them, then they're going to take it into their own hands, because at the end of the day, as we just discussed with so many players, with Kevin Durant and things of that nature, we're going to slap that piece of paper and say, all right, how good were you? And, what things did you do in the NBA? And, look at your legacy. So obviously Joel Embiid wants to be looked at as one of the greatest players in his era. So, he wants to put a ring behind that, because we already seen what they do to players who don't have those rings. It's sad to say, it might be a bad culture, whatever you say. But at the end of the day, I feel like they're going to be forced to trade him. But, does he want to leave? I don't know if he wants to. I think he just wants a ring. So I think they're not going to be forced to trade him, but he's going to want it out if he's not in a winning situation. So, Cap.
All right, Sean, we have one for each side. Which side are you going to lean? Fact or cap? If the Sixers trade James Harden, they will have to trade Joel Embiid next.
So I initially thought that this was major cap because I was like, okay, James Harden has been bouncing around the NBA like, I'm not even going to make the analogy, but he's been bouncing around the NBA. And so I don't think that him going to a new destination necessarily will dictate what Joel Embiid has to do or what the Sixers have to do with Joel Embiid, what Daryl Morey has to do with Joel Embiid. So that was my initial thoughts. Then I had some other thoughts where, number one, Joel Embiid said last week that he wants to win a championship in Philly or anywhere else. So, like Garry was saying, he just wants to win a ring. And if it's not going to happen in Philly, like he only has so many years to maximize his prime and to try and win a ring as the guy or the secondary guy. And so the other thing that I thought about with it as to why it is a fact is because I also, and I hate when people do this, but I'm going to be one of those people. I'm going to compare players in different sports. Shohei Ohtani, who plays baseball, we've talked about him in Sean's Pop Quiz a couple weeks ago. He's the modern day Babe Ruth. He's a pitcher, he's a hitter, and he's excellent at both. Like he doesn't just do both, but he is the top of the top in both positions. You never see that. He's basically two people. Right now, the trade deadline is about to come up in baseball, and the Angels are considering trading him because his contract is up this offseason. If Shohei Ohtani can be traded, then so can Joel Embiid, especially if Embiid is forcing his way out and wants to win a championship. So to me, it's a fact.
I'm going to have to ride that coattail, man. I think this is a fact. Like Toddy's mentioned, Joel has seen Ben Simmons go. He's seen Jimmy Butler go. And now he's going to watch James Harden go. I think we're going to have to pull up a LeBron tweet like, man, is it me? Is it me? Like everyone's just leaving Joel. He's the one who started the process. And now he's the last one on the island. So I think this is going to be fact. He's going to see so much talent walk out of the building and bringing in guys like Tobias Harris and just the wrong pieces.
The assassin.
So I just don't think this is going to work out for the Philadelphia 76ers. And if they want to hit a restart on the process, trading Joel Embiid will get you the picks and the players to do so.
But go ahead.
I was going to say the big thing I think is the contract. I feel like Philadelphia just came up to him and said, hey, man, like, we want you here. We want you here. They know that he's going to be a free agent. I'm pretty sure everyone in that front office is like, all right, James is kind of out of here. What about Joel? We got to throw him the supermax, give him $300 to stay. They can offer him the most money. So I feel like they have, in a way, we've seen a whole bunch of guys get contract extensions. We saw Tyrese Halliburton, LaMelo Ball got an extension. And he just got an extension, and JB's going to get an extension. It's in the works, guys. It's in the works. He's going to get an extension.
I've been saying that for a couple episodes now.
Okay, it's in the works.
Sign and trade.
Philly has to have asked him like, "Hey, man, like we want you here. Let's get you locked in because this is the last year of his deal, and he's a free agent at the end of this year." So,
but do you think James Harden's the last straw, really? Like, we see how James Harden acted now. I don't know if y'all seen the video. Hey, shout out you and your summer. Do your thing, James. But y'all seen that one? I don't know if that
grabbing all the burgers.
Yeah, I don't know if that's now recent or what, bro.
You gotta put the fat suit on.
My guy, like, it's all good. You gotta do, each his own. He still gets buckets when he's on the court, not as much as a couple years ago in Houston years, but he's still doing his thing. But it's like, you think that's making Joel Embiid like his last straw to force them? Like, maybe, yeah, you guys are right. He might be traded and he might want to be out of there because I think what I mentioned of just not winning, I guess. But at the end of the day, I really don't think that James Harden's going to be the one that's going to be forcing. I don't think Embiid's making his decision off James Harden, basically. I don't think the Sixers are either, really. I think they took this gamble and the gamble turned out bad and they're trying to just get rid of it at the end of the day.
Garry, tell the audio-only listeners what your uncle said.
Is it PG-13? I don't know. James Harden has bounced around more than the Kardashian-Jennifer clan. Oh, no. You crazy.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a fact.
So moving on, we're going to switch it over to football. Like I told you guys before we started, I told everyone to do some research to come and let you guys know what we really, really think. So I'm going to start this one off because this is my man. Fact or cap, is Trevor Lawrence better than Justin Herbert? Like I said, I'm going to go first, and I'm going to fact. If I'm taking a quarterback, I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence. We saw him have Urban Meyer and really looked like a land of lost toys. And then all it took was Doug Peterson, a quarterback's coach, a dude who's played quarterback in the NFL, to turn him around. Playoffs, they're bringing in Calvin Ridley. We saw the emergence of Christian Kirk. We saw the emergence of Evan Ingram, and that's all because of Trevor Lawrence. So he's making his players better. I'm not saying Justin Herbert isn't doing the same over there, but I just think as a quarterback, comparing 1 to 2, I think Trevor Lawrence is the better quarterback, and I'm going to say that until today, to the next year, the year after that. I think Trevor Lawrence has it, and I think this year is really going to show that Trevor Lawrence is the better quarterback than Justin Herbert. Gary, I'm going to go to you next. Factor cap. Is Trevor Lawrence better than Justin Herbert?
This is rooted in our bet in the beginning of the year, Kev, which your Jaguars and my Steelers, and you've been riding them ever since, so I'll give you credit for that. And you know what? I seen this, and I researched everything but this because I'm going to talk on my heart on this one because at the end of the day, these both players are great. I do think Trevor Lawrence is going to have – he's having a better, I think, so far career, I would say, even though Justin Herbert has done a lot so far in his career too, carrying a team that has been just poor coaching all the way around. I think we'd all agree on that. But the reason why I think that this is cap, Kev, that I think Justin Herbert is slightly better right now and is going to be overall better at the end of his career, even though he kind of they both got, I would say actually the Jaguars have more, let's say, success in the last few years as a franchise than the Chargers have in the last, I think 15 years, 10 years, I would say. So I'm talking about just, Shaun, I don't know why you're making all these faces over here. I'm talking about situation. I know I'm talking how is your situation going to make you better or worse? So I think Trevor Lawrence's situation is better, but I think Justin Herbert is the better quarterback because I just like him the way he plays. I think he's just I just think that he's going to be an overall better player because he's going to have less talent around him and he's going to bring them up. That's why I think he's going to be the better player. Go ahead, Shaun. What are you?
I say, yeah, Shaun. You made all the faces.
No. I want to go last. Let Toddy go. I want to go last.
All right. Though.
He's just
Shaun about to
shoot
come
me
and kill
down.
it. So, Toddy, factor cap. Is Trevor Lawrence better than Justin Herbert?
Well, we got to look at the facts, right? Let's go back to the playoffs. Who won in their previous matchup?
I know he's going to bring it up.
It was Trevor Lawrence. Now
he was up 21.
He threw 4 picks in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence did.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence threw 4 picks in the game, and they ended up coming back and winning. He's got a playoff victory over them. Right now, if you just look at the numbers, look at the game when they played, Trevor Lawrence ended up coming out on top. Now, if it were me and who I think is the better quarterback, I think it's Justin Herbert. But if we're going to go off of what's going on right now in the NFL, it has to be Trevor Lawrence because Trevor Lawrence got the upper hand on him last year in the playoff game. With you. So, I'm gonna have to say
bad time to say this, especially
I'm gonna have to say fact. Trevor Lawrence right now is better than Justin Herbert.
It's a bad time to say this.
I can tell where Shaun's leaning, but I'm still gonna ask him a question because we're all playing the game. So Shaun, factor cap. Trevor Lawrence is better than Justin Herbert.
Okay, so just to give my answer real quickly before I get into the meat of things here and everything that was just said by everyone, not just by Garry, just by Jaevon, not just by Kevin, but by everyone, because I'm on an island. Even though Garry said that it is cap, Trevor Lawrence is not better than Justin Herbert, and I agree with that. This is cap, but the things I was hearing, man, it's a little crazy to me. You guys are all drunk on recency bias right now. Like, I've heard from each of you, including you, Garry, and that's why you see all my faces, the audio-only listeners, they miss out on it. That's why you got to check us out on YouTube. But you literally said, and Garry, because you're now Kevin and Jaevon, they understand what they just said. You seem to forget what you said 2 minutes ago because you just said, and we can run back the tape. You just said that the Jaguars have had a better recent history as a team than the Los Angeles Chargers.
They made the playoffs before they literally beat my Steelers in a playoff game.
What did they do the previous?
Yeah, Kev, I know. I was making that face too.
What did they do the previous 2 seasons before?
They sucked, but it's not like the Chargers have been great either. But I'm talking about just overall, they flipped. They just been way. I just feel like they're just drafting better and everything. I just feel like they're constructing their teams better. I don't know. I know Chargers have a lot of talent. I just like Justin Herbert at the end of the day because I feel like he's solid every single time. And you know what? He came out and shocked the world. I didn't think that he was gonna be that good when he came in, and he's been shocking it ever since, doing basically Patrick Mahomes type things before Patrick, like at the same time as these guys. You know, he's been on that same level. It just hasn't had the winning in the playoffs just yet. And obviously, like you said, the recency bias of last year is not feeling good right now. But I'm gonna stick on it though. I think Justin Herbert's gonna be the better player at the end of the day. Go ahead, Shaun. My bad.
Jacksonville Jaguars had the first overall pick in 2021. The Jacksonville Jaguars had the first overall pick in 2022. The Jacksonville Jaguars went 1-15 in 2021. The Jacksonville Jaguars went 3-14 in 2022. I'm sorry. They had one good season. They won the AFC South, which was anyone's division to take.
For a couple of years, like 2 years.
And now, because we had one good season, and Kevin, I'm not disputing anything that you said about your man Dougie P. But the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars had one good season, now Trevor Lawrence, we're just going to forget everything that we saw during that rookie year. I understand the bad influence that Urban Meyer was, but stats over politics, right? So his rookie year, he had 12 touchdown passes, 17 interceptions. He threw for 3,600 yards. His second year, 4,100 yards. You look at Justin Herbert, first year, 4,300 yards. That's better than Trevor Lawrence has done in his first 2 years. Second year, Justin Herbert threw for 5,000 yards. Third year, nearly 4,800 yards. You look at those touchdown interception ratio, 31-10, 38-15, 25-10. I never thought after we were saying how much of a generational talent that Trevor Lawrence was going into the 2021 draft, because Justin Herbert went in 2020. That's when Joe Burrow went number one. Trevor Lawrence would have gone number one in 2020 as well. But from what I've seen so far, I'm not going to overreact to one season, one playoff game, because, Kevin, I know that we talk a lot about Devontae Smith with the 2-season sample size. I'm not going to overreact to a 1-season sample size. And so for me, this is cap. Right now, Justin Herbert is the better quarterback.
You going to take him the long run like me, Shaun? You going to take him the long run?
Based on what I've seen, I would.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I know it's not the number one pick, but the Chargers did pick 13, 17, and 11. Those 3 seasons. So we're comparing shit to toilet paper.
That's what I was saying. They're both bad.
Garry had a point there. I mean, they're both pretty bad. Just because one picked 12 picks before.
That's a big difference. That's a big gap.
That
is a third of the NFL. That is a third of the NFL.
Between what, 2 games?
No, probably like 3 or 4.
3 or 4, I don't know. So, Toddy knows where I'm going to fall with this. I'm pretty sure I know where Shaun's going to fall for this. So, I have to bring it up to the pod, and I'm going to go to you first, Toddy. Who is in a better situation for their rookie year? CJ Stroud or Anthony Richardson? Factor cap.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
CJ Stroud has a coach in DeMeco Ryans, who I think is going to do really well in his first year. A lot of people speak highly of him. He played for the Houston Texans as a player.
Oh, number 2. He was doing so good.
He's still here. I can hear him. Toddy, you just lagged out for like a solid 5 seconds that we didn't hear anything you said.
I said, so CJ Stroud, I think, has the better coach than DeMeco Ryans, coming from the San Francisco 49ers, that system, and Kyle Shanahan. I think he has a better coach. I'm looking at Anthony Richardson's roster setup. Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman. I don't know. I think CJ Stroud. What's the Pierce? Damian Pierce. He's raw.
Cox.
A lot of people. I want people to realize Tank Dell.
It's got to be good.
Is going to be a guy that you need to watch out for. Going to be a guy I'm going to spend some money on in the offseason, score touchdowns, yards, all of that. Wow, this is really tough. It's really neck and neck. But if I had to go with one, I'm probably going to say the Texans, CJ Stroud, just because I trust in DeMeco Ryans and what he's going to be able to do and kind of just mold CJ. I don't know how good Texans might win 6-7 games this year. I think they're over 6.5. I've looked on FanDuel right now. So I'd watch out for them. I think Anthony Richardson is going to be a guy that just makes insane plays that we're going to see. He might run for a 60-yard touchdown and throw an 80-yard bomb. we'll see that. But I feel like CJ will be a little bit more consistent on the throwing side, and we'll see him, consistently making all the throws that needed to be. But AR is probably going to be the guy, the highlight reel guy that will be like, Anthony Rich, oh my God, he did this, that, and that. But I'm going to go with CJ Stroud.
All right. So I'm going to space out the Ohio State fan. So, Shaun, I'm going to go to you next. Fact or cap? CJ Stroud is in a better situation to succeed than Anthony Richardson.
Well, shout out to the late, great Nipsey Hussle, because last time that I checked, Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts.
Which is insane.
So to me, we're talking about a guy who just signed a 4-year, $36 million contract.
All up front.
All up front. Give it all guaranteed. And he's the starter, was drafted to be the starter. And he is with a head coach that's going to empower him as the starter and do everything he can to help him as the starter. And the other guy might start in week 5. So to me, this is a fact. CJ Stroud is in a better situation just because he could start from day one. And I don't think the difference in the teams is a big difference in disparity, because like if Anthony Richardson was like a Patrick Mahomes getting drafted to a playoff team, then I would say, okay, he's probably in the better situation. It doesn't matter if he has to wait. But the teams are close enough that I'm taking the guy that just got the guaranteed money and that is the starter from day one. And so this is a fact. CJ Stroud is better, or in a better situation at least.
All right, Gary, I'm going to go to you next. Is CJ Stroud in a better situation to be successful than Anthony Richardson? Fact or cap?
To be honest, like you mentioned, they're both in a shitty situation. I just kept looking like this is a both horrible situation to be in. I think, like Shaun said, I guess you can give the upper hand to CJ because he's actually going to have the opportunity, and we don't know when Anthony's going to be able to get into this situation actually to even make it a situation officially, I guess. But I'm just going to say cap just because actually what Vaughn mentioned. I just kind of like the offensive weapons more on the Indianapolis Colts, like we mentioned earlier, Cox, Taylor, and all these guys. I feel like he's just going to have a little more weapons on offense to help him have a better season if he has an opportunity. But obviously, I'm a little torn because, like you mentioned, the Texans quarterback, the Texans head coach now from the Niners. I feel like this is going to help that team get better overall because he's from a winning culture. I'm not hating on the Niners. Don't worry, I'm saying nothing positive, guys. But like I said, I think I just like their offensive weapons more. So I'm going to go cap. Hopefully, Anthony Richardson can get in there and make CJ Stroud look like shit, I guess. I don't know.
So,
Ohio State, guys.
4 minutes ago, I was on a CJ Stroud train. But then all I hear out of my damn headphones is Niner shit. Are you guys forgetting who the Colts coach is? Shane Steichen. You know who he's had in his quarterback tree? Mr. Jalen Hurts. Mr. Justin Herbert. Anthony Richardson is in the best situation. He's literally going to have the coach that had Jalen Hurts breakout. So we're going to see Anthony Richardson doing a lot of things that Jalen Hurts did. So yes, CJ Stroud might be the better thrower, but like Toddy mentioned, Anthony Richardson can bust off an 80, 90-yard run. They can use him as a Justin Fields. So I think that for his development, we can wait for the arm to come like we've seen with Justin Fields. So Justin Fields led the league in rush for quarterbacks. I can see Anthony Richardson really filling in those slots and really developing, and we're seeing years down the line. I believe Anthony Richardson is going to be in a better situation because his coach has the proven history. I know he brought up DeMeco Ryan. I don't think CJ Stroud's going to play in the secondary. I don't think he's going to line up in a box next to Fred Warner. He ain't coached nobody on offense. He's a defensive coach, defensive-minded coach. So we're going to have the offensive-minded coach come in, did lead arguably the best offense in the NFL last year. You can ask somebody, but if you're asking me, I'm going to say they did. So I think Shane Steichen is going to really be able to take Anthony Richardson to that next step. And I feel like that's the main reason they drafted him at 4. They could have drafted Will Levis. They could have went another direction, but they stayed put because they know Shane Steichen has the resume with the quarterbacks, the young quarterbacks in the league. And I think he's got to continue with Anthony Richardson to follow the guys like Justin Hurts and Justin Herbert and
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, yes. So I'm going to say this is cap.
Taylor's the main difference here, guys. If Taylor can get back,
Damon Pierce isn't a scrub.
But Jonathan Taylor was leading the league in rushing for he's been doing really good. Last year, I think kind of fell off due to injury, but the year before that,
I think ran for 13 on the Texans.
Exactly.
I think Anthony Richardson can be better than Justin Fields.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I will just jump in just to say that, Kevin, I will never slander the name of the great Shane Steichen from Oak Ridge High School in El Dorado Hills. So shout out Shane Steichen. Best of luck.
Oh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for episode number 41 of Stats Over Politics. No Sean's Pop Quiz this week. And
Thank
so,
God.
oh, man, thank the Lord. But just to replace Sean's Pop Quiz, Kevin, I know that sometimes you have Kevin's Pop Quiz, and so I have a fact or cap question, if I may, real quickly.
Let's do it.
One quick one, if I may, real quickly here, as we're wrapping up episode number 41 of Stats Over Politics. All right, so this is why everyone needs to watch on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, because you see behind me, over my right shoulder, I have this framed photo of DeMarcus Cousins, right? And DeMarcus Cousins has been in the news recently because there have been some debates on Twitter, and it has been about where prime DeMarcus Cousins ranks among some of the best centers in the NBA today.
Right now?
And right now. Joel Embiid was one of the names mentioned, the reigning MVP, but we also have the reigning finals MVP, back-to-back MVP, and Nikola Jokic. So we could also think about Joel Embiid with this one. Gary, did you want to say something real quickly before I reveal the question, even though we all know where this is going?
Just clear it up real quick with the question. Is it his prime versus their prime, or is it his prime coming back in today's time versus these guys?
Great question.
Just clarify.
The question for Factor Cap, Shaun edition, is prime DeMarcus Cousins was better than present day.
Why you put the Joker?
Why you put the Joker? That's not even fair.
You guys aren't gonna be able to sneak out of this by saying he's better than Embiid, but not better than Joker. So for all of our audio only listeners, the final Factor Cap for this week is prime DeMarcus Cousins was better than present day Nikola Jokic. I know I'm springing this on you guys. Didn't let you have any research, so I'll just answer my own question first. I'm gonna have to say this is a fact because
hot take.
Look at the numbers. You look at the numbers, right? And the numbers back it up.
Not a good time.
When I think about DeMarcus Cousins putting up those numbers, some would argue that those numbers were empty stats. I would argue that he had to put up those numbers because he literally had no one else around him. With Ike earlier, we were talking about the impact of an Aaron Gordon, not just getting buckets, but doing all the little things on the basketball court. And so to me, I feel like Nikola Jokic has played with better teammates throughout his career. He got a more seasoned Michael Malone versus Boogie was doing all that shit with a revolving door of head coaches. And so to me, maybe it's a hot take, but I say it's a fact. Prime DeMarcus Cousins was better than present day Nikola Jokic.
How many 40-20 games did he have, Shaun? He had a lot.
A lot. I don't have the actual number for you, but a lot. What do you think, Toddy? Is this Factor Cap?
People are gonna hate our podcast.
They're gonna hate me, and that's okay. I'll be the heel.
I have to say Cap, but he's damn close. Shaun kind of listed you all the numbers, but I'm gonna give you another couple of numbers. There's two-time MVP Nikola Jokic, and there's Finals MVP Nikola Jokic, and there's NBA champion Nikola Jokic. So, yes, situation does matter. You guys previously, the Sacramento Kings had Michael Malone, kind of baking in the oven, and then you took him out a little bit too early, and that was an NBA champion. So, obviously, situation does matter. You look at management, front office, all of that does come into a role. Shaun already mentioned the revolving door for the Sacramento Kings. They were missing the playoffs for however many years when DeMarcus Cousins was there. He was the first All-Star since, I forget who it was. Was it Ron Artest?
Brad Miller. Asia
Stoyakovich.
So you just kind of got to look at the situation that he had around him. It wasn't that good. Ultimately, those picks that they traded to get DeMarcus Cousins ended up being Buddy Hield. He ended up getting De'Aaron Fox out of that. So it was a blessing in disguise. But, Jesus Christ. Imagine prime DeMarcus Cousins with this team currently that the Sacramento Kings have right now.
There'd be no Sabonis. Tell you that.
There would definitely not be a Sabonis.
We still have Tyrese. Ooh.
I don't know if Tyreek would still be on.
Yeah, we wouldn't have that pick. Yeah, you're right.
If you had De'Aaron,
it wasn't that bad. Well,
if you had a healthy DeMarcus and a De'Aaron Fox on this team, it would be very, very scary for the league. So
All right, Kevin.
I'm gonna say Cap though because Jokic has the MVP's the rings. So
All right, Kevin.
Damn it,
This is
Shaun.
usually your segment. I'm flipping it on you now. So the question for all our audio-only listeners is that, and it's a statement when it comes to factor cap. The statement is prime DeMarcus Cousins was better than present-day Nikola Jokic. Is that factor cap, Kevin?
I'm gonna say it's fact.
My God.
Just
What?
off of
Bro.
the base.
Vaughn, we about to lose.
Hold on. Let me
They're gonna take us off Spotify and YouTube now.
Gary, let him explain
Let me
himself.
throw this caveat.
There's nothing to
So
explain.
his prime got cut short. So if his
That
prime
counts.
doesn't get cut short, I'm not saying he's going to be an MVP. I'm not saying he's going to be a world champion.
oh, no.
That's-
But
that's
just
what
off
Jokic
of the
is,
numbers
Kev.
alone, he's on a better team.
My
We
guy
saw-
could have affected
We
winning.
saw when Boogie left Sacramento and played for a good team with the
Solid.
Pelicans. They beat the Blazers in the first round they were the lower seed.
40.
So we got to see him really flourish outside of Sacramento. And just to throw that out there, Gary, my dude Boogie got a ring. Let's not act like he don't got a bubble championship now. Let's not act like he don't got a bubble championship. So now we're talking about MVPs. Now we're
Boogie
talking
was
about
cut from that team,
MVPs.
by the way, guys.
So I'm gonna have to say
I didn't want to say yeah,
Prime Boogie was a monster. We
Yes.
remember the days when the Joker was fat and chunky. Ain't no dark days of Boogie. Boogie came in from the jump and took over Sacramento and did a lot for us. So I'm gonna have to say fact. I know my bias is bleeding through my colors, my shirt right now, but I heard a King's name and I had to put that fact. So Gary, go ahead and ruin my momentum.
I had to ruin for you, Kev. I'm sorry. This is a straight capster. Hey, man, I love DeMarcus Cousins. Obviously, I became a fan during the DeMarcus Cousins era. You know what I'm saying? We were so bad, but this was our guy. This was our best player. This is the guy like you guys all mentioned. Put us on the map. Got an all-star vote. I think a lot of people would take I think a lot of fans, some people would actually hate him, I guess, but because maybe they don't think he's immature and things of that nature. I think it's all passion, and I think it brought a mentality to our team that pretty much I don't think as an organization maybe we were able to handle during that time, maybe who we had in the front office, anything of that nature. I just don't think that, like you guys know, our Sacramento Kings, and they would agree to, we're on the all same level during that time, and we didn't get to put the right ingredients together for DeMarcus Cousins. But that is sad to say for DeMarcus Cousins because Nikola Jokic, the Joker, literally is the best player in the world right now. And we have players like Kevin Durant, Giannis, Embiid, LeBron,
Your boy Bam.
Curry, all these, my boy Bam, all these players are in the league now. And Jokic is the unified, undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, best player in the world right now. So I love DeMarcus, but there was never yes, he was the best center for a couple of years, 1,000%. I remember that. He was for sure best center. His package, like Shaun was saying, can shoot the three before anyone else. Can literally break you down. All the post moves in the world, just like Jokic. So if you're talking about points, the game, it's pretty close neck and neck. So, but just in terms of everything else, just Jokic is just on hitting on all cylinders. His prime is clearly better than DeMarcus Cousins' prime at the moment. But if you want to just talk basketball real quick, so I know you talk about 40 and 20 that DeMarcus Cousins dropped too because he was a monster, no question about it. This is hurting me to say this right now because obviously I love DeMarcus Cousins
Getting ridiculous.
too. But I'm just gonna let you know at the end of the day, there ain't none on the passing. On the passing, there ain't none like nothing Jokic.
That's where Jokic got him beat
Jokic got him
by a landslide.
And I don't know what the main debate was, Shaun. Maybe DeMarcus Cousins talked about it. I don't know. Maybe he said he's neck and neck. Maybe I don't know what the insight was or if he fell into it. But this man was on the Nuggets last year. I remember vividly. He was on that Nuggets team last year, and he for sure gave him the Heemster badge for Jokic over there, knowing and that he knows he's the one of the ones. So I don't think DeMarcus Cousins would be too nitpicky saying that Jokic has a better prime than him right now. But I wouldn't say it's too crazy. It's just I think the time I was going crazy right now because really it's just the timing. Vaughn literally said it. You're talking about a two-time MVP back to back. Just the bad time to say it, guys. Horrible time. This is a horrible time to say this, but it's all good. It's all good. Cap for sure. Cap all the way.
So I know we gotta go. I especially do because I have to be up in like 7 hours. But I have this last couple things to say. First of all, our guy Nick on YouTube makes a good point as he says, if DMC was a little more mature, things would have been different. I think too many texts and too much attitude, even though they were bad, and that is a fair point. The thing I wanted to say about this is that DeMarcus Cousins was and is a 4-time All-Star, right? And if you look at Nikola Jokic's All-Star campaigns, he's a 5-time All-Star, but he made it in his 4th season. To me, Boogie should have made it in his 4th season. I remember that year specifically where like we were campaigning to get him in the All-Star game with the vote and all that shit, and he ended up not making it. But to me, his prime began in his 4th season when he was a walking double-double. I mean, he averaged 22.7 and 11.7 rebounds. As you were saying, Gary, Jokic has him beat in assists by a mile in terms of the
playoffs, guys.
volume.
I didn't even mention that. Didn't even get to mention that. I'm sorry.
Well, and that's where the better team factors into it for me. But like Jokic,
NBA is based on that player, Shaun, and Jokic. They ain't in the playoffs without that man. I don't care who's on. They ain't in the playoffs without that man. So he's the engine that started that to even get to where they're at today. I love Boogie, man. It's hard to say, but man, y'all forget we just watched the finals. This man literally was just everywhere, doing everything. Couldn't be stopped. Couldn't be stopped. Could not be stopped, guys. All right, whatever. It's good TikTok clip though, y'all.
To answer your question though, this was brought up just because I think it was Ball. We were talking about Ball is Life earlier. I think Ball is Life were the Twitter account that posted the highlight clip of Prime Boogie, and it was just like, you guys don't understand how good Prime Boogie was. And then that's when people started debating, like, yeah, he was up there with kind of Embiid and Jokic, what they are now and everything. I don't know. All I know is if you compare the numbers directly side by side, and a lot of people will tell you different interpretations of those numbers, but when you look at the numbers side by side in terms of their first All-Star year, it lines up evenly. Jokic just has him beat by a landslide with the overall volume of assists. But let's not forget how underrated Boogie was as a passer. Like he was the first big man that the Kings had.
Shoot the 3 as well.
Exactly, that could shoot the 3. And when it came to him as a passer, he was the first big man that could pass the ball, similar to a Chris Webber or Vlade Divac that they had in the glory years. And so that's what I remember from Boogie the most.
Glory years now, Shaun.
I wish Boogie maybe was drafted a little later. You wouldn't maybe say that. You maybe say obviously you wish he was way back in the day, Shaq's era, dominating the era. But even now with his skill set, he was one of the first guys with that skill set really to handle the ball as a big man and go up the floor full court like Jokic is doing. So it's no disrespect to Boogie. I think it's it's pretty close, and maybe other fans would see it in the NBA. Obviously, us Kings fans, and we got 2 right here who are calling it his way. But I would say it's more neck and neck, and for sure, DeMarcus Cousins was slept on during his prime, and we know that he was too as Sacramento Kings fans. But I think just some of the tangibles and just like you mentioned, Shaun, some of those things. Hey, man, at the end of the day, we're gonna be talking about this guy Jokic probably maybe top 20. And I'm sorry to say, DeMarcus Cousins ain't sniffing that, brother. All love to you, but you ain't sniffing that one. And maybe it's due, like the Kev said, just no opportunity, not right situation, not enough time, injuries, maybe derailed his career like that. But just the facts are the facts, like y'all say always to me.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad that you said something that you did just to follow up on it. And Kevin and Jaevon, give me the signal if you got anything else to say. Otherwise, I'll wrap it from here. But just my final thought in regard to this that you mentioned earlier is you said, Jokic is the guy, the number 1 guy in the NBA right now, the best player without a shadow of a doubt. We all agree on that. But Jokic also had really good timing, though, in the sense that LeBron James was 8 years older than he is now when Jokic is the quote-unquote best guy. Because at that point, when Boogie was entering his prime and going throughout his prime, DeMarcus Cousins was the undisputed best center. In
but was he ever top 5, though?
LeBron was arguably undisputed.
LeBron, KD.
I think Boogie, like he was definitely in that top 10 at his peak.
Kobe
kind of crept into that top 5. I don't know. Final thoughts, Jaevon?
Timmy.
Yeah, man, Boogie was a problem. I'm not disputing anything that Shaun is saying. I'm just saying Jokic is kind of what Boogie was, but he's doing it.
He took it to the next level.
Maybe. He's winning MVPs. He's doing that. So that's why I'm just kind of like, it's kind of hard to say that he's better than Jokic.
All right, fair enough. Well, that's going to do it for another great episode of Stats Over Politics, episode number 41. It is flying by, guys, and I'm enjoying every step of the way. Shout out to our guy Ike for coming on and joining us, telling all those great stories. If you guys didn't get a chance to hear everything that Ike had to say over those 90 minutes that he shared with us, make sure to run this back on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and listen on audio-only platforms. For Garry Singh, Jaevon Toddy, and Kevin Dent, I am Shaun Holko. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 41 of Stats Over Politics, and we will catch you all next week here on Stats Over Politics.
Peace.